Hello everyone, welcome to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me always are my co-hosts, Chris and Austin.
Yo.
What's up, everybody? Austin is so excited to be here.
Hey everyone.
I am brimming with energy.
Austin, are you ready to go to bed already? I mean, we have probably a 3-hour show to do, so...
No, I'm good.
Austin's going to take a nap right in the middle of the show. How do you feel about that, speaking of someone who has taken a nap in the middle of the show?
Look, sometimes
Chris.
you just gotta take a nap. Sometimes you just gotta rest your...
Just gotta power nap it.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, we just started, somebody's already asking if I've heard of Coffin Comics.
What is that?
I don't know, actually. I have not heard of Coffin
Wow,
Comics.
somebody stumped you, Chris.
Somebody stumped me with obscure horror comic, I assume.
That's unusual. Well,
Yeah.
I assume it's a publisher.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's possible.
Although it could be the name of a magazine or something.
It could be, yeah.
Certainly.
I mean, maybe it's just like, hey, you like reading about vampires? Let's read those coffin books.
Yeah, they didn't last long. They only made vampire comics.
You would be surprised, though. That's its own.
I'm not going to put you on the spot right now, Chris.
Yeah.
But just off the top of your head, how many publishers, if I put you on a clock of, say, like 2 minutes, do you think you could name? Because you definitely know more publishers than I do.
Yeah, like, I mean, I would probably... I'm going to be generous and say 10. Just
I bet
maybe.
I bet you could do 20.
Maybe. We'll see.
Because you're always bringing up publishers that I either just never think about.
Yeah.
Or, although if you're like me, you'll name something and then one of us will go, that's an imprint!
Yes. That's true. That's true. I mean, it seems like
Then
there's
how many
more...
imprints could you name?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, I think you just say Image, and that's like 10 right there, too.
Yeah, because that covers Skybound and
Yeah,
all kinds of other things.
Yeah. So
Was it Ghost Machine or whatever, the
Ghost Machine
Jeff
is
Johns
there
one?
now.
Well, and DC used to have 3 or 4 all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean...
Wasn't Icon a DC imprint, or was that Marvel?
Yeah, that was Marvel.
That was Marvel.
Yeah, because the last book for... Oh, was that Epic? Are we thinking of Epic?
See, now I wish I hadn't mentioned it.
Because I know Epic was...
Maybe Icon's not even an imprint, but I thought it was.
I mean, Icon, isn't that like...
I wish I hadn't brought the subject up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Icon, isn't that the Superman analog for, like, Desco and Twin McDuffie's?
Yes.
Like, is it Milestone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Milestone.
Milestone, yeah. I'm blanking on that, too. But,
Because Icon, I was thinking, was the one that made that put out Kick-Ass, the
maybe
creator
that
on
was
Marvel
like,
one.
You know what? I think I was
Yeah.
mixing up Milestone and Icon for a second.
maybe, yeah.
These things all blend together.
Yeah, and, like... Because I know Marvel had Epic, because the last book they published with that was Trouble.
Well,
which...
and didn't Epic have some Marvel characters in its books where it would do like crossovers with its own characters,
so,
and then it would do maybe this is another one. Where
Am
I'm
I
like,
getting the wires crossed? Am I
Yeah.
thinking Icon? Like it's
I
Epic,
think you
but I'm
might be.
thinking Icon?
Yeah.
I think you
Okay.
might be, but there was an imprint with Marvel where it would do like a Silver Surfer book, but it wasn't in continuity Silver Surfer. You know what I'm saying?
I think, yeah.
But it would be like a one shot or something, or like a miniseries. Anyway,
Was that where, like, the Stan Lee Mobius one was?
maybe.
Yeah.
It didn't even occur to me that was in an imprint, but it might have been.
I'm not 100% sure.
This is the most old man sounding conversation we've ever had. And I don't mean
Exactly,
because
yeah.
we're talking about old things. I mean, this is how like old men converse. He's like, I think I remember this thing from that one time.
Well, back in 1992, you had my Silver Surfer comics, but they weren't like your Silver Surfer comics.
I didn't have no Mobius.
Yeah, Mobius.
Let's actually get the show started.
Yes.
So tonight we're doing a Gerry Conway theme show, kind of. We're going to review a couple books later by Gerry Conway, who sadly passed away recently. And Austin's actually been listening to Gerry Conway interviews, so he'll probably have things to say about him. I don't know a ton about the actual man. That's not a guy that I've listened to talk much. But he's obviously written lots of stuff that I've read or have been interested in. So tonight we're going to, for cover of the week later, look at Amazing Spider-Man 129, which is the first appearance of Punisher, and then our featured show tonight, and I don't have a copy in hand, unfortunately. I was hoping to get a facsimile within the last week, and I just could not get my hands on one locally or get one shipped quick enough.
Right.
But anyway, we're going to do the original Superman Spider-Man crossover from 1976. Real timely time to do that, not just because he passed away, but also because, of course, we've had both of the new ones published by Marvel and DC, respectively. And shockingly, the Marvel one was the good one this time. I couldn't believe it, but it was actually pretty okay. Yeah. But anyway, the thing that struck me immediately with that book, and I completely forgot about this just looking at the cover, is it's Superman versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They had the verses in the title, going all the way back down.
Oh, well, you have to, yeah.
You got, yeah.
No, both of them are timely, because we have that, and then we have a Spider-Man book where he's with the Punisher and a college professor that becomes a big green monster, just like a new movie.
Exactly, yeah.
That's true. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much, but is the Jackal not just a really weird design for a Spider-Man character?
The Jackal's a weird dude, let's be real.
But the reason I say that is he's green and he's got giant goblin ears. Like, he looks too much like the Green Goblin to be a major Spider-Man villain to me.
He always felt like a replacement, where it's like, we just got rid of the Green Goblin, now we have the Jackal.
Well, this gave me some historical context with that, where I didn't realize he was introduced immediately after losing Norman Osborn. But then they're also making it clear that Harry is going to be the second Goblin not too long from now.
Yeah, they have that little seed they're start playing.
Yeah.
So...
No, and he's rumored for that new movie. People are theorizing that's who Keith David is, because his voice is in that trailer, and we don't know who he's playing.
Yeah. I've
He's
heard
somebody.
Moreland too, yeah. Which the only way to make Moreland cool is to cast Keith David as him.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I don't agree with that. I think casting Keith David as Moreland is the only way to make Keith David not cool.
If anything could.
I'm kidding. But, no, obviously, I would rather one of these than the other one.
Yeah.
Not super excited about either, but if you gotta have one, I guess the Jackal. And given that he's with the first appearance of Punisher, and Punisher starts as a Spider-Man character, I can see why people would be theorizing that. Because that is something... I don't know if that's what it'll be, but that is something we do quite a bit, where we'll go to somebody's first appearance and then we'll kind of arbitrarily just pick stuff that happened around that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're at a point, because of what they did with the last movie, I don't think they're going to repeat those same villains as new iterations. So we're at a point where it's like, who are they actually going to pick as a main Spider-Man villain? Yeah. And I feel like Jackal is one that could potentially happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows?
No, I don't think you'll ever see, for the same reason that they won't actually do anything with Uncle Ben, I don't think you'll ever see the MCU version of any of the villains they've done already.
Yeah, and there's just certain Spider-Man villains where it's like, they're not going to make them the main villain of a Spider-Man movie, though. Obviously we've had him as a henchman type character, but Shocker was never going to be the main villain of a Spider-Man movie.
Although
Rhino probably won't be.
I gotta say, there was a time where I wouldn't have thought Electro would be a main villain, but then they did that. Yeah. So, with some of the villains they chose to make whole movies around, in the Sam Raimi and in the Amazing Spider-Man days.
Yeah.
I actually was a little surprised by villains that I wouldn't have thought would carry a whole movie. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought Sandman as a main villain.
Well, even Vulture. I wasn't sure if Vulture could really carry a whole movie, but
and that ended up working great.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if you can do
Sandman
all of those.
And Electro are weird.
You can make the argument for Shocker movies. If you can actually get away with those. Sorry, was that awesome?
Yeah. No, Sandman and Electro are weird because they're peppered in with a bunch of other villains.
Yeah.
So it's Electro's kind of like a henchman that gets more time than the main villain of Amazing 2. It's really weird.
But they sold it so hard on him.
Of course.
The advertising played it like he's one of the main villains. And I also wonder if they'll repeat even any villains from the anti-hero movies, except for maybe Venom.
Yeah.
Like they might do their own version of that. There's a lot of talk about Black Costume with this movie.
Yeah, they'll never do a Morbius.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think
The
Morbius
guy
is
who
gonna-
played Polka Dot Man said that he wants to be Morbius. That's perfect. Just make that. I'd love to see that. That'd be great.
It
But we
makes
won't do
more
that.
sense than M. Bison.
Yeah, I know, right? The sad thing is, after seeing the second trailer, I'm curious now to see the movie. The first one, I was convinced was AI. I was like, no, man, somebody put this in ChatGPT. That's not a real movie. That's not. That's one of those Facebook reels you see in passing and then scroll right by.
When does that even come out? Like, I was surprised. I was looking at my movie theater for this weekend
Is
to
it
see if there's
July?
anything
Is it
playing.
July?
Maybe. And I was surprised that Mortal Kombat 2 comes out this week.
It's,
Like,
yeah, that's already
I
coming
had
out.
no idea.
We're about to get hit with an onslaught of genre stuff. And Jason and I are talking about maybe reviewing Mortal Kombat 2. He's not seen the first one, and there's part of me that wants to just have him go into that without seeing the first one. But he
probably
wants-
could.
He probably could. And it's awful. But
Yeah,
like,
no.
Yeah.
I just remember watching it thinking, like,
there's a
how
bunch of
does
stuff coming out.
how does Mortal Kombat Annihilation have more cohesive plot?
Annihilation might be my favorite Mortal Kombat movie.
July 31
July 31.
is,
Yeah.
is brand new day.
Okay.
Yeah. So this stuff is all fast approaching.
Oh, yeah.
So get ready for a lot of
crazy.
movie reviews to take over our Monday nights here for a while. If we
Yeah,
can get,
Supergirl I know is next month.
oh, it's next
Oh,
month.
wow,
Yeah, God, if
that's-
I can get to the freaking movie theater to see
know,
stuff
yeah.
for the first week, making a lot of trips and stuff. Anyway, so Chris and I also will have some free comic book day books to go through later, and it's good that it was free comic book day last week because I actually had nothing on my pull list. I had nothing to buy last week.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even go to the shop on Wednesday because I had
wow.
nothing on my pull. And so I bought a couple of things on Saturday, but still nothing brand new that came out last week.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really surprising. And I know Austin's got a few things to review that he actually purchased last week.
Well, I had 6 books and couldn't hit all of them, so I have 3 books.
Well, yeah, well, that's all right, because I don't have any. Now, I
Yeah.
will talk about some of these free comic book day books. There's only 1 or 2 that I'm going to want to do the kind of regular reviews on, and the others I'll just kind of hit real quick. And several of them I haven't read. I haven't read yet, or probably won't.
Yeah.
But I'll just show you. I got this, and then I also have a bunch that Mikey grabbed too.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about this later, but Free Comic Book Day was littered with kids' books
Yes,
this
yes.
year, which is both wonderful and head-scratching. And I'll talk later about why I feel a little bit ambivalent about the sheer number of kids' comics I saw at Free Comic Book Day. But right now, let's take a look at comics coming out tomorrow. I've not looked at this list at all yet. Since I had nothing last week, I'm assuming that I'm going to have to spend $50 tomorrow at the comic shop. But let's find I have to. That's a cap your priorities are weird. Anyway, so here we go. The very first book, I had nothing last week. The first 2 books are books on my pull. Batman 9. Are we only at 9? I don't know why I thought we were at 10 or 11 already.
So did I. I thought the
yeah.
Joker issue was 9, so like the other day I was like, yeah, we're already like a year into that book.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Fractions Batman 9. Oh, that's a fun cover. Oh, he's fighting with Batgirl.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm guessing this is leading into that Batgirl or the Barbara Gordon book.
I didn't know there was a Barbara Gordon book coming.
Yeah, it's that Breakout, I think it's called.
Oh, that's right. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if that's what that's setting up, then One Will Fall is like, well, we know who that's going to be. Because like she's going to go to
Batman.
prison. Oh, okay.
There, yep.
That also feels like a Transformers nod.
It does, yeah.
And then we've also got Absolute Superman coming out tomorrow. Once again, I'm not caught up on that at all. I've bought the last 3. I haven't read it yet.
You gotta catch up. It's Reign of the Superman.
Wait, really?
You're going
Yeah.
straight for his 90s heart. You're
Yeah, I
going
know,
straight-
but you're 19 issues in Absolute Superman. You're already doing Reign of the Superman. How?
All
That's
right,
Reign
wait.
of the Superman.
Oh,
Oh, Okay, that's weird. I saw John sent me an ad the other day. Not a trailer or anything, but just a digital print ad poster for the third season. I didn't know when or if this was even going to come out of My Adventures with Superman.
Oh,
and they're
nice.
doing Cyborg Superman.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
very excited about it, and he looks great. And that show is crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen it at all, Chris.
Oh
but,
no,
like,
I've watched the first season. Yeah.
and watch the second.
I need to
their
watch the
Supergirl
second, yeah.
is amazing, and it's the best Brainiac ever.
Yeah.
But that show is just really unpredictable,
Yeah.
and the way they mix up the toys in the box is really creative and clever and
Yeah.
crazy, and like it feels real all ages. But then they'll do just disturbing crap in the middle of it. Where I'm like, I mean, I would still show this to my kids, but I might have a conversation with them before they go to bed to make sure they're not going to have nightmares. Like, I love a show like that,
Yeah.
and. So this is another one of those things where it's like, oh, it's Cyborg Superman. We've been there and done that. Except his costume, I don't know what we're doing with this yet, but instead of the S, it's an L.
Okay.
What are we doing? So like, I can't wait to find out what that is. That's super exciting.
I think isn't Jessica Cruz in that because they're spinning her off into a new show. It's like My Adventures with
I
Green
knew they were
Lantern.
doing My Adventures with Green Lantern, but I wasn't sure if it was a spin-off. I couldn't tell if it was even in the same universe or
Yeah.
not. So if she's in that show, I've not heard about that. Because I didn't even know they were making a third season for sure.
Well, I mean, they've been real radio silent on that and Cape Crusader season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really wonder if we'll get any more of that. Because I wonder what the numbers were. Because I felt like there was
No,
like...
they've said that season 2 is coming this year.
Oh,
They're-
good.
They've
Good.
like
Yeah.
mentioned it a couple times.
Well, it
And
just
I know
felt like-
DeMatteis wrote an episode of season 2.
Good. It just felt like there was no fanfare around it.
Yeah, it seemed like it kind of came. I mean, I enjoyed it too.
You and
Like,
I,
yeah.
Austin, tried to hype it as hard as we could. Even our audience didn't seem that jazzed about it.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. I've seen it a couple times.
We really liked it. And then there's stuff that's come out that I missed and forgot all about and forgot even existed. Like that animated Spider-Man show
Yes.
that was supposed to be, like whatever they ended up finally calling that. It was supposed to be like freshman year, and then they changed the name of it. I've not seen a frame of that yet.
Yeah.
That's probably been out
Well,
a year now.
I was interested. I was like, I need to finally watch this. And then they were like, Spider-Gwen is coming in season 2. And I was like, oh, well, now I don't care. But the other day I was laughing. I saw it was like Venom's design, like, has officially been shown off for the show. And it's Black Spider-Man with a mouth. And it just says above it, Black Suit Spider-Man. And I was like, literally on the picture, it says that it's their Black Suit Spider-Man.
Okay.
Well,
Remind me, what is that show called?
My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
That's what it
yeah.
is. That's what it is. Austin's like, I don't know either. I'm not gonna watch it. It's got Spider-Gwen. Who cares what it's called?
Not fan of Spider-Gwen.
Well, it's just get her out of my everything. Like I'm with Austin on this, where it's like I don't need Spider-Verse to touch freaking everything.
I mean, that's true. They really, yeah.
It feels like Spider-Man's prevailing character trait now is there's more Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
Which is not a character
With
trait.
that and
It's driving me
like,
crazy.
the Insomniac games too, I'm like, do I seriously just like have to have like every Spider-Man continuity where like he's met like Miles or Spider-Gwen or whoever before the Green Goblin?
Well, yeah, I know.
Like that's
Yeah.
insane.
There's a lot. I mean,
And
I
before
like.
a Gwen Stacy has even died.
Yeah. Here's like, I
Yeah.
like the PlayStation games. I do, but like the story choices they make, it's like, all right, so Harry's Venom now. That's what we're doing. All right. Guess we're.
I'm
That's what we're
convinced
doing.
that Red and Blue Venom is going to be Harry because we keep doing Harry as Venom.
Yeah.
Nicholas Bodo, Spider-Gwen is getting a little overexposed. What I wish we would do... Here's the thing. For my money, I don't know if either of you guys will agree with this, but for my money, you can have your cake and eat it too. And we were for about 5 minutes with the alternate Spider-Mans, and really with alternate anything, if you would... Because Batman handles this better.
Yeah.
if only you would let them all exist in their own continuities and just let them be flavors for everybody that likes that flavor, right?
Yeah.
So like keep Spider-Man in his world, and then do your Spider-Noir and let it be its own thing, and do your Spider-Gwen. She has a really cool, interesting universe.
Yeah, for
Let
sure.
her be your Spider-Man for her universe.
Exactly,
You do Spider-Man 2099. Let that be. You can say it's the future of 616. I don't care, but like let it be its own thing, and then. Like DC Marvel crossovers, if you want to very occasionally do a giant event that's not going to matter to anything else but its own thing, I don't even mind if they cross over. I just don't need it to be the thing.
Yeah, and multiverse stories in general are a little overexposed now, because not only do you have like the current phase of the MCU, not only do you have the Spider-Verse, not only do you have
It's never special anymore.
Yeah, and like that's all. I'm not sure if any of you have played the recent Mortal Kombat games. Like Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah. That's all that is anymore, too.
I know, it's rough.
Yeah.
No, I think a good example of it, and this isn't exactly what you're saying, but like I like the way that they separate it, is with New Superman, where obviously it's changed now because Superboy Prime is Superman, but the Superman book was Superman and like the main cast that you kind of expect. Action Comics was the family book with all the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, I just wish that stuff would kind of stay in its own lane and be its own continuities, because they're also more fun that way.
Yeah.
Like I pulled a Spider-Gwen book, like I think when it was first called Ghost Spider, for maybe a year and a half, and like it would occasionally. She would occasionally come to 616 in that, but for the most part, she stayed in her own universe, and you got that cool, stylistic, sketchy, like weird color scheme, and all of that. She's playing music, and she's mourning Peter Parker's, turning into the Lizard and all of that. And, like it's cool.
Yeah. I feel like that initial, like when you first were starting, like the Spider book, that first mini was great. You know? Yeah.
Well, there's a reason it caught on like it did.
Yeah, for sure.
And that suit design is undeniably great. But
absolutely.
Anyway, let's see what else is coming out tomorrow. We've only looked at it's another Absolute week, folks.
Yep.
We haven't had one in a little while. We've got 3 Absolute books this week. Daredevil #2 is tomorrow. I forgot to pull that, but I will probably try the first 3 issues of that, because I liked one well enough after you guys' recommendation, and I don't want to have a reputation for hating on Marvel every week and not trying any of their half-decent stuff if people are telling me they're half-decent. I liked that book well enough, so I will keep going with it. Amazing Spider-Man 28 is tomorrow. Are we still... I mean, I say we, I'm not reading this stuff, but I guess we're still in the middle of all the symbiote stuff they've been doing with this book. I don't dislike that cover. No, it looks like Aftermath stuff. So I think Torment just ended.
That was Damage Control.
I was gonna say, I thought it was over.
Yeah, it looks like it is. X-Men 2099, pardon me, X-Men 29 has a grave cover, and I'm a sucker for grave covers. So like, even though I'm not reading this book, if I was buying nothing else this week, I would maybe buy this just because it's a cover with a tombstone on it, Chris.
This is apparently the Danger Room is killing everyone.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I know, yeah. That happens like every couple of years, to be fair.
I heard something about it. It's like a new sort of Danger Room that's like in people's minds or something. It sounds strange.
Yeah.
Batgirl 19, I'm still buying, and the covers are always great. And this is one of the best of them. That's
a great cover.
That's gorgeous. And see, she's still got her weird blood thing happening, where she can throw her blood around at people.
That's cool.
That's happening. Fantastic Four 10, Poison Ivy 44,
folks.
folks.
Malice back. Oh my god.
We got Malice back.
Cyclops 4. What was that about Malice?
With Fantastic Four, it looks like they brought Malice back.
They did, yeah.
I couldn't even see what was on this cover. Invincible Woman finale. Oh, I see.
It's the end of their Malice story.
It's the Invisible Woman, and she's become the Invincible Woman, you see.
Malice is like evil Sue Storm.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
And she wears like a bondage outfit. I think that comes from Burns.
So I was going to say, I feel like I've seen that character before, but I didn't actually know that's who that was. If the Invincible Woman can best even Susan Storm. Oh wait, so this isn't Susan Storm? Did they make a new version of her then? It says, then who can stand against her malice? Get it? Will Earth survive? Will Galactus? And if they do it, what cost? That actually sounds kind of fun.
There's a legacy number on it, too.
Good job, Ryan North.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard his FF is good.
It is.
I've not read it.
Well, I've liked what I've read. I've kind of fallen off a little bit.
I may try that in digital.
Yeah.
Cyclops 4. That new Ben 10 book is starting, which some people are excited about, but I've heard the interiors are weird because it doesn't look anything like that show. And so it sounds like a full-on reimagining of it, where they're trying to do sort of like the IDW Ninja Turtles thing with it or something. But some people aren't happy about it because it looks a little bit too muted and understated for that material. But I don't know enough about that to try it. I've watched a few episodes, but just for anybody that cares, Moon Knight 4, Wade Wilson Deadpool 4, JSA 19. I keep forgetting there is a JSA book. Batman Static Shock, Beyond number 6. How has that been around for half a year already? I don't even understand that. Image, If Destruction Be Our Lot, number 1. Image publishes a lot of books with titles that sound like they could be TOS episodes.
That's true.
I think that is also a sci-fi book, so
Humanity is extinct. Well, there you go. It is a sci-fi premise. And all that remain. I love this cover, by the way. This looks like something that could have been published in 1987, you guys.
I was thinking, too, it does have a little bit of a pulpier Grandmaster era sci-fi novel.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it has a pulp...
yeah. Even the title...
Magazine cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Look. Sorry, that's what I was trying to say.
And even the title is that really overly long, Philip K. Dick...
Yeah.
We can remember a wholesale or do Android's Dream of
Yeah, absolutely.
When the actual image on the cover looks very Blade Runner, not exactly, but that kind of the lone guy standing.
I'm gonna read this copy. You guys, depending on how much I have tomorrow, I may try this.
Yeah.
If they've got it at the shop. Humanity is extinct, and all that. Well, that sucks.
Yep.
And all that remains are the robots who once helped us. The robots who once helped us are happier now, doing their work without human interference. But not Abe. He believes there must be something more out there. Someone out. After nearly getting killed, he is determined to wander the earth until he finds it. Well, this sounds a little Wall-E.
Yeah.
Or gets recycled trying. Brilliant artist Andy McDonald and adequate writers... No, that's what it says. And adequate writers, Mark Elijah Rosenberg and Matthew Rosenberg. You gotta love self-deprecating copy. Bring you an ongoing sci-fi adventure about finding purpose, holding on to hope, and really lonely robots. You guys, I wanna try this.
I'm intrigued.
That sounds good.
That sounds for me.
It does.
Potentially.
I guess the Rosenbergs wrote their own I assume. Otherwise,
they must have. Otherwise, somebody at Image is an asshole.
Some copy editor has stuff to say.
Adequate writers. That's so good. I would have think Todd McFarlane's in there going, adequate writers.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Todd McFarlane dictated that, and they wrote it down.
No, you
know what? No way in hell Todd McFarlane is writing Image copy.
But here's the thing, though. Eric Larson, maybe.
Oh, sure.
That is a total Larson move. He's like, these guys suck. Just give us money.
You know what? I like the idea of replacing Dick Move with Larson Move.
Larson Move, yeah.
I'm gonna start saying that. What a Larson move.
What a Larson move.
No one will have any idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll be like, if you've never read Eric Larson?
Yeah.
Really?
Don't know about the
Savage
Dragon?
Never read Savage Dragon?
He had a cartoon on USA in the 90s.
For 15 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
All new Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 10. Could we have a rule where you're not allowed to have the word spider in your title more than one time? Really?
No, you need it more.
That really gets into that ultimate place. That really gets into that ultimate Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Verse,
new ultimate.
It needs to be all new Spider, Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, number 10, Spider.
From the world of Spider-Man.
From the world of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. And her amazing friends.
Spider-Verse presents From the World of Spider-Man.
All new Spider, Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider.
we can improve this title. Adventures of Superman Book of L8, Walking Dead Deluxe, Jubilee Deadly Reunion #1, all these X-Men getting their own spin-off books, and I wonder if this will have anything to do with the Psylocke book, because she's been massively featured in that, so I wonder if this kind of spins out of that. I don't know. And then Godzilla Infinity War. So did you drop that, Austin? I haven't heard you talk about that in a while.
No, I didn't pick up that one. I was like, when they announced it, I was like, do I get that? Am I that much of a whipped horse? Nah.
See, I've had that with Power Rangers, where there've been those couple of books that I'm like, I collect all of this, but that's not for me. They did this like Ranger Academy nonsense.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was just awful looking, and I was like, well, they're making that for an audience that does not exist. I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
Energon Universe 2026 special. Have you read these specials they've done in the past, Austin?
So I read the 2024 one, and then I ordered the 2025 one, but it was like just canceled digitally. I have this one ordered, so I hope it doesn't get canceled. But yeah, I read 2024 and then went back later and just read 2025 online since I couldn't get it digitally. And yeah, like there's just kind of little bits. They let like every one that's doing one of these books do like a little story. And there's some good stuff in there. Like in the 2024 one, that's where you see like how Megatron gets separated from the ship when they're crashing on Earth. So like there's just like little details and stuff that they show off.
So it turns out I actually have this already because this was a free comic book day issue, and I saw that cover and figured that the free comic book day issue probably just had bits of the real ones, since they're actually soliciting and selling this. But that's not what they're doing. They're now selling what you could have got for free last week.
Yes.
Apparently, that's what this is. So yeah, it's just, but it's not previews of like pages that you'll have in the other books. It's setups for them, so it is new material, but it's just
it's like an anthology book.
It's just a little anthology with like 4 or 5 pages, and they're not even complete stories. They just kind of like establish stuff or reveal something. The Transformers one, I'll just spoil this because I don't even know what it means yet. It has a character I didn't recognize that might be from some other franchise, even, I'm not sure, that is living out of a dead Transformer.
Oh, interesting.
That sounds cool.
And it was wordless. It was a silent 4 pages. That's just here's this like warrior survivalist chick that's living out of a dead Transformer, and I'm sure Austin will look at it
like, this is the first year I have to do 2 of them. I'm not writing a script for the first one.
And Austin will look at that and be like, I know who that character is, and I know who the Transformer is that she's living in, but I didn't have any idea what I was looking at. So
yeah, no, I'm fascinated to see what that means. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt very like, in its way, like Rey in Star Wars, because like she's living out of this.
I think the 2025 issue was the first time they ever referenced anything Mask, too, where I think the G.I. Joe side meets a character from Mask.
Well, and this has a preview for Mask, since that's about to start.
Yeah, and that I figured because that's the cover, and that book is about to start. Yeah, and I'm gonna pick up that book. I don't know anything about Mask.
Austin, yeah. I don't know if you can tell looking at that what Transformer is. This somebody that died, that we saw die, and she's living out of it?
I'm not sure. It's a little hard to tell. I don't know. When I see like the actual book, it might be easier just like to see it like in full.
Sure,
but
I want to say it's like Hot Rod or somebody, or it's
I don't think we killed him.
Yeah, I'm not
No, Hot Rod was in Void Rivals.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he like pals around for a little bit.
But anyway,
in that
so
book.
have fun buying something I got for free. I'm just messing with you.
I didn't have to pay for the 2025 one. Maybe it'll get canceled with this.
Are you Macho Man Randy? Because that was savage.
Exactly.
I didn't mean it to be savage the way it sounded. Tales of Green Lantern Corps, Guy Gardner #1. is tomorrow. They're
Oh,
doing.
yeah, I heard they were making a Guy Gardner book.
They're doing a Cassian Andor book, but I think that's just a one shot. That might be a miniseries. She Spawn starts tomorrow. So this is Jessica Priest finally as a Spawn.
Oh wow!
And she's been in another book called this. It starts with an S. I can't remember the name of it. That's got like a rotating cast of different like Spawns and Spawn adjacent characters. I thought it was just her book.
Team up.
Yeah, I thought it was just her book, and it turns out that it's not. I just looked this up today.
World Spawn.
Gail Simone is writing this, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah, I think I saw her announce that.
But I gotta be honest with you, I am really glad that Jessica Priest is finally getting to be a Spawn.
Yeah.
Because she was supposed to be a Spawn in the Spawn movie, and that didn't happen. And now that legacy is finally reflected in the books. And I like her outfit quite a bit. So I don't know how she's characterized now. I don't know if she's any fun, but anyway. Nobody else is going to care about that, but I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if that book's going to be any good, because I don't know if anything Spawn is remotely good. But anyway. Moving right along, Captain Marvel Dark Past is number 2. So, Chris, just wait for number 3, and then
you go, next month.
Yeah. Civil War Unmasked. So we're just going back to the original Civil War, and what are we doing with it? Oh, we're just doing, like, filling in the raindrop stuff for Civil War. Okay. Marvel
making money.
Marvel goes back to probably not though.
Yeah.
Marvel goes back to their old events way too often. They had that Secret Wars book last year, which I liked the first issue of, but I just think we do too much of that. And now we're doing it with Civil War again.
Did anyone read Civil War 2?
I did. It was awful.
Yeah, because it felt like.
Did you read number 3?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Did not.
When they're, I think, still doing Planet She-Hulk, and there was that Planet Hulk, like, in between the Raindrops book, but that was at least Greg Pak, so it's like at least he went back to it.
Yeah, and
that's better.
This obviously won't be Mark Millar.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know, that's better. Anyway, moving right along, Boom is putting out a new book called Fall of the House of Slaughter. I feel like Boom has become another, like, major horror house.
I can see that too. Just
where
some stuff they've done.
Like it's interesting that the publisher, and they were probably doing some horror stuff back then too, but like the publisher that brought us Power Rangers and has had that for 8 or 9 years now, also has like these big horror books.
Are they doing? Oh, there was like one book. It's not something that was killing the children, but it was like
that's them too, though.
Yeah.
I don't know, Chris.
I'm sure as soon as I remember. I got the free comic book day book, but I left it at home, so...
Alien King Killer. I'm seeing Austin, all these number 2s for books that I didn't notice the number 1s of.
Yeah, no kidding.
So one of us needs to buy the number 2s, and one of us needs to buy the number 1s. We know which one I've get.
Well, it's just too bad we don't all live in a house together.
That's
we could we can collect by each buying the next one. You know?
As soon as we get to number 4, I don't know what we're doing. We'll just loop around.
Although there is a book for you right there, which is the Muppets Noir number 3.
Right,
they finally hit it.
You should finally try that.
I should actually, because I've heard that.
I've heard that book's
really
great.
Good.
It looks fun. Yeah,
it does. I've
heard that book's great.
Yeah, I've heard it's gotten good reviews.
I will probably read that in digital.
Yeah.
We should put that on the wheel when it's finished.
We should actually,
We should all read that. That sounds fun.
Heavy Metal's back.
I see that. Heavy Metal, published by Heavy Metal.
Mm-hmm.
Oni, Cruel Universe. We're getting into the more obscure stuff now. What else? I'm just gonna start kind of scrolling down.
Oni's the one that, because that's part of that new EC line. That Cruel Universe.
All these number 2s this week. Again, I've not heard of this. Royals by Image. It's big trouble for Paul and Castor Wang when their telepathic poker hustle catches up to them. Maybe we did read something about this,
Maybe.
Chris.
I can't, yeah.
I feel like I remember something about poker. Maybe not. Anyway,
I didn't know there was a Flash Gordon book.
There's been a Flash.
Oh yeah. That's and the 5 people reading that seem to really love it.
Well, I think there's like a strip too. There's if it's the Dan Shikati or how you pronounce his name. I guess not.
No, it's an Abnett book.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No. Dan Abnett's been doing that.
I should check that out.
Yeah.
It sounds great. I'm just not a fan of that material, so I wouldn't have thought to read that. But
yeah. That's why I have, because there's also the new Sleepy Hollow book, because they made the sequel one, and I read issue 1, and I was like, this is not what I want from this. And now tomorrow they're starting with a prequel book, and I'm like, is that going to be more of what I want from that? I don't know. Do I try it? Do I not? I don't know.
So I will probably try a couple of things tomorrow because I've only got maybe 3 or 4 books on my pull. So I will probably try that sci-fi book that sounded really interesting.
It's a good week to experiment. Mm-hmm.
And I'm silly. I actually really like that She Spawn cover. I might pick up just that number 1. I won't keep going with it because I'm buying Spawn in trade now, and so I'm not gonna buy singles. But occasionally I'll see a cover that I gotta have in displays. I had that Spawn book a 3 months ago where you guys were like, "Why do you have to have that?" I was like, "Because it's really pretty." And you guys were like, "It's just a normal Spawn cover." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but purple."
To be fair though, Spawn, whatever you can say about the interior material, the cover's usually pretty great.
The covers are what have kept that book going all this time.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just a regular Malibu Stacy, but with a stupid hat.
Are you calling me as a Spawn collector?
Waylon Smithers,
I'm a hardly a collector anymore. I got rid of all my singles. But are you calling me like the Barbie collector of Spawn fans?
You are the real life Waylon Smithers, as Chris just said. It's correct.
I was just clarifying what you said. Don't put that on me. Don't put that.
No, Chris said it. Chris said it. So if you're gonna be mad about it, Chris said it.
You know what?
I'll see you all later.
No, I'm trying to be insulted, but I think I'm with you. Actually, I understand that.
We tried to make fun of Cap. Now he's having to come to terms with his lot in life.
I will own it. Yeah. No. I just had a come to Jesus moment about my Spawn. And you guys will see me next week with She Spawn number 1. I swear to God. Okay, let's go on now to stuff we bought last week. And before I forget, I want to show one non-comic thing if I can, and then we'll maybe let Austin just go through the actual books he read like a normal person, stuff he bought and read, and then we could hit Free Comic Book Day. I got a new Batman Pop, and I showed this to Austin yesterday. Chris hasn't seen this yet. Right. I've slowed down on my Batman Pop buying because I'm out of space for them, and so I used to buy every Batman Pop that came out, and like I still ostensibly do, but there've been 3 or 4 the last year that I passed on when I found them, and I'm like, I'll get that later. Like it's not one I just am over the moon about. This one was kind of too much for me, and I had to get it right away. So they finally did a Batman Pop that can't get rid of a bomb.
That's amazing.
And that makes me very happy. He can't get rid of a bomb.
You need some like Funko Ducks now to put next to him.
Yeah, a Funko Ducks and a Funko marching band and Funko nuns. Yes. Perfect. This pop figure is the perfect example of why you should take these out of the box.
Yeah.
I don't care if it technically devalues them. I, in the box, showed this to my wife, and she was like, well, it's just a 60s Batman. Like, you've already got one of those. Like, who cares? And then I had to turn it slightly. Oh, he's holding a bomb! Like, you can't hardly see that in the box. So, yes, these are much better out of the package. Anyway, Austin, tell us about...
It sounds like just making Pops has devalued Funko because they're going out of business.
Yeah, exactly. So it's... Yeah, I mean, they're going to get bought out, I'm sure. Like, we'll see what ends up happening with them. They're still pushing stuff out like crazy, even though they're tanking. I don't know what they're thinking. I saw the weirdest one yesterday where I was like, well, they're not completely down for the count if this exists. They put out a... I don't know if Austin will even know what this is. I'm sure you'll know what this is. I didn't even know there was a mascot for this. It's like this thing with a face. They put out a spirograph pop figure.
Okay.
Spirograph.
Oh wow.
Who's gonna buy that?
People are
Is that like
age.
How
a
does
graph of Spyro the Dragon?
How does that have a face?
I think that's a decade later than what we're talking
So,
about.
Austin, a spirograph was like an art tool that you could get where you would take a pencil. It had like a big circle in the middle, and you would take a pencil and you would go around it, and you'd basically like trace without thinking about it, and it would create like crazy designs.
Yeah.
And they were really fun to play with.
Yeah, like a little stencil too.
It was
and
it was a stencil kit basically. That's what it was.
Right.
And I had one. I played with it all the time. How does that have a pop figure?
That is a good question. How do you even make like?
We're running out of ideas.
I swear to God, I'm gonna buy that for my mom.
Yeah.
Just so that I can, because like she gave me this biograph. We
Yeah.
we loved that growing up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that for my mom. She's gonna think it's great.
Right.
So that I can be the one person on the planet that bought that.
A spirograph.
Because
Funko
no
Pop.
one's gonna buy that.
And they have to. I imagine they have to like change their mold too, because they have like the same mold they use for like all the Funko Pops. They just put little details on.
Sometimes they have to go with a totally different
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I mean, I guess some of that stuff, like everything old is new. Oh, that is kind of terrifying, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what they did. There's the spirograph Funko Pop. Have you ever seen this as a character?
I have not.
Like, did you know
no.
Spyro? That's the other thing is, even if you know what Spirograph is and you used one,
Yeah.
you probably don't know there's a character. They even did a variant of it.
Yeah. I know, like, there are some 80s mascots that have been kind of lost to history. Like, I had to explain to somebody the other day what the Noid was.
Yeah.
The Domino's Noid.
Well,
yeah.
okay, so the thing about the Noid
Yeah.
is that
You should
predates
avoid him.
a lot
should
of
avoid
people our age by a few years.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty well out of advertising by the time you remember commercials.
Right,
That's
right.
that's the thing with the Noid.
I mean, it's funny because I have, like, hazy memories.
He was
of,
also
like,
super
the
creepy looking, and I don't know why anybody thought that was cool. But.
Yeah, I know. That's...
I
And
only
then-
know the Noid because of Adam West killing the Noid on Family Guy.
Well, apparently, like, there's also a really, like, a legitimately horrifying reason why they had to retire the mascot, where, like, some guy whose name was, like, Bob Noid, who was legitimately schizophrenic, thought Domino's was targeting him specifically and took, like, his local franchise hostage.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Then Adam West had to come in and save them.
Wes had to say that. Exactly.
Austin, RJ Godzilla says the Transformer, the woman is living in his iron hide.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that makes sense. I had a hard time seeing it.
Did we
so
know
I was like,
he was
I'm not
dead?
entirely sure. He's not appeared yet.
He's
so
not appeared yet, okay. That's what I was
That
wondering.
makes me
is
sad.
if
I
it
hope he
was
comes
somebody-
back. I love Ironhide.
I was wondering if it was somebody we'd seen die or if we didn't know about it yet.
Yeah. Nicholas Boto also asked me if that Sleepy Hollow book was a sequel to the movie, and yes. Which I was hoping, because that movie is a tribute to Hammer Horror,
Yeah.
that it would just be a Hammer sequel, and it was not.
Well, I mean, it's funny because there's like a whole bunch of old Hammer actors in there too. Like, what's this? Michael Goth, who played Alfred
Right.
in the '89 movie. He's in that, just as like a bit part.
But I think it's the first time Burden works with Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
He becomes kind of a regular after that.
Austin, tell us about books that you actually purchased last week.
Yes, I can, because I only read 3 of them.
Yep.
First up is my only number 1. It's Zatanna number 1. So I read the miniseries that came from last year over like yesterday and today, and then read number 1. And it's kind of what I figured, which is it's basically the start of the next arc. Like it basically just is like continuing from that mini. And yeah, it's cool. I really like that mini. And this new number 1, Zatanna decides that she's going to be, I think it's called like the Prime Magus or something like that. It's like basically the Sorcerer Supreme, and she's gonna like protect all the magic realms. and she has to deal with a possessed person, which was cool because it was very different from how we normally do that, where she's like both in like a spiritual realm and in the real world. And the way that we portray them being possessed is that her like head is split open, and there's like a demon head coming out of her neck. And when she gets fixed, the head like comes back on and like reattaches. It was really cool. But yeah, it's that book looks really great. It's a fun magic adventure. Next up, I've got The Punisher #3.
Okay,
which
3 in. Are you staying on it, or are you going to drop it now?
The Punisher finally started killing people, and at the end of the issue, they give him a way to have that thing in his brain that like makes him pass out if he even sees violence, for them to get rid of it. So it seems like now he will just be the Punisher, and that's what I'm there for. The violence in this issue is pretty cool. And I liked all the villain stuff, like from issue 1. It's the only reason I've kept up till now.
Also, it's a grave cover.
It is a grave cover.
If you get
yeah.
the cover, that is cool.
Has nothing to do with what happens in the book.
with a zombie coming out of the grave.
Yeah, nothing like that happens in the book.
Well, that's okay, because neither does the variant cover that has the TV show version on it.
Yeah, I was about to say, dude.
But yeah, like the rest of the villain stuff's been Jigsaw's like rise to becoming the kingpin of crime, basically. So now that he's slowly become more and more of that, and the Punisher is finally the Punisher, it could be great. And then my last book of the week is White Sky #3. Which is that one that I told you guys about that's kind of like Zombie Apocalypse, but with ghosts.
Yeah.
And that one was really cool.
Okay.
There's like a whole thing where the main character has to hide out, and like the ghosts come out and they're attacking this group of people. And they like grab them by the shoulders and then like suck at their heads like Dementors, but it's like visceral gore that like shoots up into their mouths. It was really cool. I'm really digging this book.
Sounds amazing,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. About 2 issues,
No,
I'll pick
it's
it up.
pretty
Just, Glad the Punisher book got a good issue 3, so I'm sad. You all laughed at me, but...
Yeah.
Well, and hey, I'll buy
You're onto
3.
something.
I'll buy just that issue because it has a zombie coming out of a grave.
Exactly,
on the cover,
yeah.
And it's not even about that, which means I don't even have to read it. I can just buy it like a giant trading card.
Exactly.
Because that's how I buy comics.
Josh just laughed and said there's no way it took that long talking about the Punisher. I know. It's crazy. But what can you do?
I feel like you can make fun of all 3 of us and our comic buying habits really easily. Because Chris puts nothing on a pull list, grabs stuff willy-nilly off a shelf, buys #3s. He's just all over the place, totally sporadic. Austin pays full price for digital.
Yeah.
Doesn't even buy physical books and collect them and put them on a shelf. And I will spend $5 for a cool cover and never open the book and read it. We're all hilarious.
We are.
Purple.
Yeah, exactly.
We walk into a shop, the owner just goes like, "What now? What now?"
Oh yeah, except Austin doesn't even walk.
Yeah, he doesn't even. Yeah, Austin walks in like, "What are you doing? Who are you?"
Austin walks past the shop, sits down on his tablet, checks to see if they have Wi-Fi at the shop, and starts full price downloading single issues.
Damn straight. I'm not using my Wi-Fi for that.
Meanwhile, I walk in with something that was like under the shelf too. It's like, I want this. Like, I didn't even know, what is this?
I don't think I've ever roasted 3 people at the same time, including myself. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered the other thing I did was, this isn't a new thing, but I was like, theme show. I also went back to the first appearance of Killer Croc, which ended up being a multi-issue thing. So I kind of skimmed it by the end when I realized, like, oh, this is still going, and like I've got issues to read.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. They treat it like a huge deal. Like I said, it takes place over several issues.
Can you?
It's like a very grand thing.
Sorry, can you remind me what issue that starts at? Because I think I might own it. I want to check real quick.
It starts with Detective 523. Let me see. Killer Croc. But the other cool thing that comes out of that.
No, I do not have that. I have 500 and I have 527. I've got stuff around.
Yeah, 523. I think 527 is the last issue in it, but it also goes back and forth between Detective and Batman.
Does it go between different writers? Because 527 is Mensch.
I think so. Well, I think 527's like a bigger issue, unless I'm getting it mixed up with a different issue.
Yeah, I think this is maybe after that and unrelated.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be just mixing it up.
It's got Green Arrow in it.
Oh, Green Arrow has like a side story in every one of those detective issues.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a backup feature?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's the backup feature. Yeah, and the other cool thing is that we get the Flying Todds, the long-forgotten Flying Todds, where we introduce Jason Todd and his parents, who are just the Flying Grayson.
People forget that, Jason Todd originally was just Dick Grayson, but again.
Austin won't let us forget it. He likes to make fun of that every chance he gets because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is funny, yeah. Batman also fights a giant squid, and Killer Croc kills it with a sniper rifle. It's great. There's lots of good stuff in there.
So, did you go back and revisit that, or had you never read it?
I had never read that stuff, no. Or at least if I have, it's been too long and I just don't remember.
Yeah, that would have been... We talked about that as a potential feature for tonight. That would have been a good alternate.
Yeah. It probably good we didn't because it was longer than I expected. I assumed it was just an issue and he appears.
Yeah, but our features are usually 4-6 issues.
Yeah. No, fair enough. It was longer than that, though. It
was
longer
it?
than 4.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, it jumps between Detective and Batman. Like it's a huge deal. Like it's treating it like this is this new huge villain that you are going to love, and he's the new best thing, which is cool for me because I'm like, he is. I love Killer Croc.
Sorry, that was even longer than I realized you meant. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no, and he's one of those characters that also is introduced, kind of like Venom, where it's like. It's labeled as like first appearance cameo, I think, on Wikipedia, and it's just him in a trench coat, and his henchmen are like, Killer Croc, like we're gonna do this thing for you, and I'm like, oh, he even gets introduced in the trench coat and hat. It's great.
Yeah, that kind of thing makes it hard for people to decide, like, what they want as like a true first appearance and which issue should be more valuable, like cameo appearance versus first full appearance versus first cover appearance.
Yeah, or even like first appearance of the actual villain, first appearance of like the alter ego. Like I think Carnage has that.
Yeah, he sure does.
I mean, Eddie Brock too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly.
Well,
so, like,
Venom's
some of that
kind of crazy because
dicey.
it's like first appearance, first full face appearance.
Yeah. And then you have like the black costume in, its own first appearance.
Yep.
Yeah, no, exactly. So all that stuff gets real complicated.
Yeah. It's a little arbitrary and silly at the end of the day, but well, let's get into some free comic book day stuff. Why don't you show us some of the books you got? So you just brought over a smattering. You got more than that.
I just got basically I got.
Did you grab one of every single thing there was?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Well, you had a Facebook post.
I did have a Facebook post
across the floor, and it looked like they went on for days.
I do that every year too. Whenever I do free comic book
Vince
day.
also does that.
Yeah.
It was that scene in the Batman where he's got all the information for the case laid out.
That's exactly what it looked like. Well, you know what Vince will do? He doesn't do this every year, but he's done this before. Vince will grab just one of everything, and then not look at any of it until he gets home, and then bring me all the crap he doesn't care about. He's done that before.
Yeah. I didn't realize I grabbed the Oz book twice.
Oh.
I was on 2 different Oz books too. I mean, I got like a few things too. I got the Street Fighter one. I haven't looked at that yet. I got the
that one's sitting over here.
Yeah, I got
Mikey
Gem of the Holograms.
That was I saw that. Yep.
But yeah, so the books I got, the ones I brought, the ones I did manage to read through. I got Wonder Man #2. Because here's the thing, like, overall, this book's fine, and I really enjoy the art. I really enjoy how the flashbacks all look era appropriate, even though they're from like this happened like 2 years ago, 5 years ago in the continuity of the story. But I mean, I kind of like
that kind of thing never makes any sense. Where it's like, this looks like the '60s.
Yeah,
it happened 5 weeks ago.
Exactly. But I do kind of like
5 hours ago.
5 hours ago. That's all right, man. We quit wearing bell bobs 2 years ago, man. But I do kind of like how they're building up almost like an old-time Hollywood mystery where, like, his agent goes missing and they think it was his, like, business partner, acting partner. We gotta see here. I do kind of like the film reels and the panels here, or the margins here.
Didn't one of you guys review the first issue of this?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I did, yeah. I got the first issue.
Wait a minute. You bought the second issue of a series that you bought the first issue of?
I did.
That's amazing.
I did.
That just means you're committed to buying issue 3.
If I forget to buy #3, I'm gonna go punch myself in the face for that one. But also too, like, yeah, they're building up like this Hollywood, like old-time Hollywood story mystery. But also, let me find a page here. I'll just do this. The Spot shows up.
What?
I mean, yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, there's enough, like, Marvel comiciness with the Hollywood mystery. And there is a part I do like where he has to do, like, a self-tape audition. So he goes up with, like, a selfie stick. And there's... And, like, the dialogue is, "You're nothing to me, Darkhawk. I am a nihilist, the emperor of the negative zone." And then he goes into the actual, like, climax of the issue where he's fighting the Spot. So, overall...
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, for a book about Wonder Man, enjoyable. I'd recommend it.
Wonder Man's cool.
Yeah, and like his brother, the Grim Reaper, is in it too. And there's like a subplot about him going to therapy and just trying to process.
That cover's throwing back real hard to '90s Wonder Man too.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper's always been one of my favorite Marvel villain designs, at the very least. Like, he looks really cool.
That big scythe for his hand too.
Yeah.
He popped up in...
He's like the perfect mix of silly and awesome.
Exactly, yeah. He pops up in the Tom King Vision book too.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed that. And, you know, for a lot of Tom King's later work.
Austin and I spent way too long talking about that when we reviewed it. I think we have like a 2.5 hour stream on that series.
Oh, yeah.
Another book I picked up too. This one is even weirder than what I usually buy. Just in terms
How's that possible?
Well, just in terms of numbering too.
Wait, did it start at 3?
No, this is 25.
I'm beating a dead horse with this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing too. This is like right at the end of like the original run of the series. This is Farmhand.
I've never heard of that.
Farmhand is a horror book about a farmer that grows body parts.
Oh. I almost asked you to hand it to me so I can look at it, but now I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, the
Pass
art...
it through the screen. I want to look at this.
Yeah, no, here's like the thing too.
That's cool.
The art is really interesting.
Put it up on the screen. Cap, turn it. Look away.
Look away. Look away. I'm trying to find like.
Marion, honey, close your eyes.
Look away. Leave some joy in the universe. Sorry, Timmy. But yeah, I mean, it's really kind of interesting too. Where this is right at the end of. I mean, this book is weird because it's never renumbered. It's stopped at like issue 15, It stopped at like issue 25 and then just sort of kept going like months down the road, years down the road.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm playing a little bit of catch up with.
Well, there's books that'll take breaks.
Yeah.
You know, like Vaughn is real famous for breaks.
Right. And this,
like with Paper Girls.
Yes.
He'd take like 6 months off from that book and then come back.
Yeah.
Is it like that?
It's
or is
kind of
it...
like that.
Escape books doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that too. So I was a little. It did make me want to go back and figure out, like, okay, why is this, like, militia family trying to kill, like, the weird elemental farmers growing body parts? So, another thing I picked up, The Phantom versus the Sky Band #1.
What's the Sky Band?
So, I think this is what they're doing with the Phantom now. Like, I think this is like a series of one-shots, because the next one is the Phantom versus the Red Dragons.
That is a weird character model. That's a weird art choice. Look at that.
That is, yeah.
It's like based on an animated series that was canceled after 5 episodes.
Which, by the way, apparently there's a Phantom 2040 book coming too.
We've talked about it. No, not coming. That was a digital only thing.
Oh, yeah.
That came out like a year ago, I think.
Okay, so yeah. But I think this is like a series of one-shots, because in this, the Sky Band are like...
Can I see it, or is there
Yes.
a villain growing body parts?
There's no...
Okay.
There's a little bit of blood in it too, but like... Yes, the Phantom. But yeah, the Sky Band are like mercenaries, but they're also like kind of not, where they got the Phantom in.
Well, you can keep talking. I just thought I'd show people what the art looked like.
But yeah, basically the Sky Band, they're mercenary, like helicopter pilots. They move people in and out of war zones. They transport, contraband. So yeah, it's him like going in and fighting the mercenaries coming through the jungle.
That sounds neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's set in... This actually is set in, like, the present day, too, especially with a lot of, like, the helicopters are very modern designs.
It's interesting that you can't tell just flipping through it.
Yeah.
What the era is.
You don't really know until you see, like, the technology. Until you're like, they didn't have, like, the Apache helicopter back in, like, 1938.
I gotta tell you, I didn't know they were just doing one-shots.
Yeah.
I don't collect Phantom. I would be more likely to buy those as one-shots.
Yeah.
Just because I've always liked Phantom as an anthology thing.
Yeah,
and the idea that they would just put out a bunch of one-shots that would each be a different Kit Walker, a different era. Yeah. I really like that. I'd be more likely to buy those.
The Phantom is such like a weird property, and so kind of interesting, and it lends itself to... I don't want to say lends itself to like casual fans where you can sort of come in and out.
It kind of does, though.
Yeah. But I did kind of enjoy that.
And it's very Indiana Jones in that, like, here's a standalone adventure.
Exactly, yeah.
They don't have to talk to each other that much.
Right. And Mad Cave's been doing a lot of pulpy stuff too. Like they're also doing the Dick Tracy book. I guess they're doing.
Which I've heard is great.
Well,
Josh is reading that and he really likes it.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Mad Cave is the new Dynamite.
Yes.
And they seem to be getting a lot of the properties Dynamite used to get, because I think Dynamite had a Phantom book at one point. I might be wrong about that. Well, no, because didn't they have?
They did actually. Yes.
Yes, because they had like a shared universe book.
Yeah.
Where they had like a team of crossover pulp heroes.
Right.
Like the Shadow was on it, the Phantom was on it, and a bunch of other.
And
pulp
I remember their Phantom book was interesting too.
I don't know what the hell that was called.
Yeah.
But
I remember it was interesting because like they didn't give him like the traditional Phantom costume. It was all like body paint.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So
weird.
I've got like that the miniseries at least somewhere, because I remember I was buying it when it was coming out too. And that was also another one where even though it was very much like that pulpy spirit, you still had like mercenaries, you still had like hired assassins with like cloaking technology.
Yeah.
So
he's still probably in the woods.
He's still in the woods. Yeah. Exactly. And then I had to get issue 5, and this is the I Hate Fairyland crossover cover, but Wrestle Heist number 5, the last issue, where they actually pull off the Wrestle Heist.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got some closure with your
did.
wrestling comedy book.
Well, it's funny.
Now, Chris
too.
told me about this, and it sounded like a great book.
No, I mean it's great. Like one of the funniest parts is that the pro wrestler who's what's his name? Sterling Steele, I think it was, something like that. But the one who was spearheading the heist goes to Fightsgiving, the pay-per-view that they're robbing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And decides, like, you know what? I've pulled off this heist. I want to win the championship. So he goes in and, like, fights the world champion and beats him. And, you know, it's like the crowd's cheering, but the announcer's like, well, this match was actually kind of underwhelming because it wasn't really a wrestling match. They just had, like, a real fight. So it wasn't predetermined. It wasn't scripted. This
That's
guy
pretty
just,
good.
So, yeah, I mean...
Well, that's why they have to script that stuff out, or
Exactly.
it'll be over in 15 seconds.
Exactly, yeah.
That's why with boxing, it feels like people just stand around and talk for a long time.
Yeah.
Because the actual matches don't... Either that, or you have like 40 matches in a single evening.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you just have like announcers that are talking forever.
Yeah. This also keeps a lot of the back matter of the book, too, where... you have a lot of fake ads. Like there's, go back here. There's one where, like, there's a photographer that's been like a couple of issues where the last one is, I hope you're all happy because now I'm in jail for distributing pornography, whatever that means. And it's an ad for his new business, Tasteful Nudes of Convicted Felons. And, like,
oh no!
The bottom here says, please send cash money to the Reno Correctional Unit that I will then convert into packs of Virginia Slims. So, yeah.
No, I appreciate it when you read comedy you like out loud because it tells me that I can't say anything that will ever offend you ever.
Exactly, yes. And that's not even the... there's one thing in here, too, that... Probably can't read on a family show.
I don't think you can read what you just read on a
Probably
family
not.
show, so I would avoid that.
Yeah,
probably.
They do have one thing here at the bottom where it's an ad for the train.
Where does Chris draw the line?
Where do that's? They do have a thing here too. Wait, you are wanting more volumes of Wrestle Heist? I have at least one more story in this world I'd love to tell, but if we're being completely transparent. The book didn't sell enough in single issues to justify making it right now. So if you want more, you better tell all your friends to buy the trade paperback when it comes out this summer. As advertised.
He's doing that thing again where he'll take his single issue and he'll bend
I'm putting it back in the bagging board, I swear. This is...
he'll bend the page backwards as he's reading it like it's a newspaper or a pamphlet, and I'm just like this.
Look. It's there. It's safe now. It's gone. We're back to the good place.
That's how my dad reads novels, and I'm always like, oh, that's not how I would read that.
There's a reason I read mostly digital myself, too, these days. It's for my own good. It's for my own collection's good.
I worry about the... Yeah, it sounds like it. No, I worry about this spinner rack back here that I bought. That if I load too much on one rack, the books at the very back will get spine ticks. And I've had that happen with a couple things. I'm like, oh no, spine ticks. And so I watch him just doing this.
That's beautiful.
I'll just set this aside. But yeah,
I'm just fascinated.
I've actually really enjoyed this series. I think even if you're not really a wrestling fan, if you are, there's a lot of like details. There's a lot of characters that are very clearly supposed to be like the Ultimate Warrior, the Undertaker. There's like a China analog that gets mentioned. But even if you're not really a big wrestling fan, I think there's enough in here that you can just enjoy just on its own merits. So that's my review.
I grew up with wrestling. Like, it sounds like a cool book. Like, yeah. I definitely want to check that out.
And it's done by the same guy that did. It's by Kyle Starks, who did Was it Devil on My Shoulder? My Shoulder.
Yes. Yeah, and I loved that book.
And Into Life too. I mean, he's done.
Yeah, that's my favorite Vertigo book right now. Actually, the Back Matter thing you were saying reminded me of End of Life because that also has back matter material. And one of the things, because I think I told you guys, like, one of the bad guys is basically a parody of the guy who made Garfield.
Yes.
And, like, every issue also ends with, like, a couple strips of not Garfield.
It's
and one of them is like, I hate Mondays. Actually, I think I just hate every day.
Yeah. It sounds amazing. I've been meaning to pick that book up just because I like that creator. And
yeah.
He did, I mean, again, too, he did do a vampire basketball comic that is pretty amazing, too. That has, like, one of my favorite opening pages in a comic ever, so...
You will believe that we can make Dracula Space Jam.
Exactly.
Well, you should buy that book, Austin, so that there's more of a chance that he'll make more of them.
There you go.
Exactly, yeah.
For me, the target audience.
Chris looks really sad that he doesn't get to talk about that book anymore.
A little bit.
It's the only thing on this show where every time there's an issue, you bring it and you spend 5 minutes on it.
Fair. Look, you can see my heart. This is my heart. This is my heart. It's just...
Well, I'm going to mention the couple of things I bought last week. I actually spent money on, and then I'll roll through for Comic Book Day real quick. So you didn't bring over any of your Comic Book Day stuff?
Basically, I just brought the stuff I read. So
okay, so you didn't read any for Comic Book Day?
No, not the free comic. I just got the free stuff.
Like, I don't read those. They gave them to me for free.
Exactly.
So I brought them home.
I prioritize the stuff I paid hard money for. That's the...
You know what that means?
Yeah, when you're out and somebody hands you a free menu, you don't go home and read it.
So what that means... Yeah, but you also didn't leave your house specifically because they were going to give you a free menu.
I will tell
you. We left to get Wrestle Heist issue 5.
Exactly, yeah, that's true.
Oh, all right. Okay,
look,
that's fair.
You get...
Right, but he wouldn't usually go on a Saturday.
I mean, look, sometimes you go to the China buffet and the pizza place next door is having a sale. You never... Look, these things happen. I get it. I will say, though, and I told Cap this off air, but one of the shops I went to for Free Comic Book Day had so many people, their front door fell off. Like, legitimately, I get there, and their front door, at first, like, are they open? Their front door is, like, laying against the wall, and there's, like, a handyman there just adjusting the actual hinges. And I go in and I was like, are you guys open? And, you know, the owner says, like, yeah, we're open, just our door fell off. And there's a smaller con up in St. Joe up here, which is a bit up north, but I'm asking, like, yeah, John, were you at that con? He goes, I was, until my door fell off. But no, he was like talking about that, how that's like a marketing thing he can have in his back pocket just until, you know, the store closes. Like, our Free Comic Book Day was so successful, our front door literally fell off its hinges.
That's true. I would make a poster that says that.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic.
And I went to another shop afterwards, and went to Crossroads up here, and I was talking to him, and I was like, hey, you been to any of the other shops? Like, well, I was at Brute Squad. Their front door fell off, and they look at me and they go, I heard about that.
It's going to become legendary. They're going to become the store that killed at Free Comic Book Day.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. You know what
they need to get a cutout of Christopher Lloyd with a little speech bubble that says, my door fell off today.
I was frozen today because I couldn't insulate my shop because I have no front door.
Or it could be a Marty McFly one and then says, my door fell off. Damn, I'm late for school.
Yeah, Doc, are you telling me that the front door just fell off?
My door is too heavy, Doc.
So you know what the irony is?
What's that?
Chris, about you not reading your Free Comic Book Day issues?
What's that?
It means that they'll be the only ones in your collection that are in pristine shape. Because you're not going to bend them, because you're not going to...
You know what? I'm gonna devour that Street Fighter issue now. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna read it.
Literally, you're just gonna eat it. You're not even gonna read
Exactly. Yeah. If I eat Ryu, I'll get his power.
Is anyone else shocked I still have friends? I'm sorry, Chris. I really am. Okay. I'm going to do what Chris did, and I'm going to show you the couple things I actually spent money on, and then I'll run through freaking commentary real quick. So I'm not going to review this, really, because Austin already covered it last week, but based on, or a couple weeks ago, based on Austin's recommendation, I went ahead and bought Emperor Aquaman 16, because I adored this cover, where he says we're going to need a bigger comic book. And Austin, I enjoyed this enough. It has me kind of wanting to keep going with it, but then I'd have to go backwards and get the others. And I don't know if I'm going to.
It's at the very least like kind of a starting place. Like when it switched to Emperor Aquaman. So like it's kind of just in a new beginning.
And I feel like this is just an issue that you'd pick up off the shelf and look at. Did a good enough job of catching me up to where we are. Like, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what's going on. It helps that I've heard you talk about the book, but with, like, Mira's powers going to him, and now she's got them back, but he still has them, and, like, I feel pretty well caught up on the major stuff happening, and then there's a big major reveal of a big villain at the end where I'm like, oh cool, they're doing that now, and I could see going forward from this point. Maybe I don't know if I will, but the other reason I bought this is because Austin said it was basically a TOS episode, an original series episode, and I respectfully disagree, Austin. It is not it is not a TOS episode. It is a TAS episode. This is
no.
But like,
this is where we find out Aquaman's middle name is Tiberius.
No, better than your average animated series episode, but like with the like insect creatures, like it feels very animated series, which is fun. But yes, it is a Star Trek episode. You're totally right. You're totally right about that.
Yeah, and the Wonder Twin guy's like gonna sleep with the alien chick, and then...
Yeah.
That was...
I also love because it's like, I wonder where my other Wonder Twin is, and then like there's like the note that's like, oh, you can read Green Lantern for that. It's the same writer, so he's just like, I'm gonna split the Wonder Twins up between the two books I'm doing.
You know what? That's marketing.
That's really fun. Well, that's the other thing that made it feel a little bit like a cartoon. That's another thing that made me say animated series is like you've got King Shark and you've got one of the Wonder Twins. And I like that we're doing stuff that's like straight out of Super Friends, which was the show that like ruined Aquaman. And he's really cool and fun and badass in this. And like we're gonna own the stupid Super Friends crap and like make it like actually interesting and kind of, you know, as epic as you can make that stuff.
Yeah, like, and he's not in that issue, but like one of his like team people is Captain Nemo. That's so random.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it takes itself the right kind of serious. Like it kind of feels like what the movie thought it was. In a lot of ways.
No, exactly. No, and I think oh my god, now I'm blanking on the writer.
I don't even know who it is in the first place. Somebody Adams. I don't know this writer.
Yeah, is it Jeremy?
Neil Adams.
I don't know.
Maybe it is
Neil Adams.
Neil Adams, obviously. Jeremy Neil wrote this, didn't you know?
But like, I think he's pretty good at writing just
this
like
was not
an
written
issue
by deceased people. Okay. Yes, Jeremy Adams. Yes.
Yeah, Jeremy Adams. Okay, I don't know why I blanked on it right then, but like, I think he's pretty good at writing just issues.
Yeah. It felt like throwbacky and modern all at the same time. I really appreciate that. You get a lot of bang for your buck.
Well, I'm glad you weren't like, why did you recommend this to me? This sucks.
No, even if I don't...
I'll never trust your judgment ever again.
Even if I don't keep buying it, I would certainly recommend it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like
I also didn't expect you to keep reading it, so like, yeah, that's...
But I found myself
I was shocked
tempted.
you bought it.
Yeah. I am a little tempted. Okay, so you guys are going to laugh at me, but I bought another Spawn cover. This is 312, and I bought this one... So this is actually from quite a while ago now. We're already up to 378, I think.
Yeah.
We're pushing toward 400 now. Right. This is several years old at this point. But I felt like I had to have this cover because it's got every writer and artist that ever worked on the main book written in the skyline. And I thought that was really neat.
That's super
and
cool,
I felt like I had to have that. Notably, of course, Neil Gaiman seems to be missing.
I'm shocked.
And he is either missing or he is super crazy small and I haven't been able to find him yet. So McFarlane claims in a letter at the beginning, he actually wrote a letter about this cover and why he did it the way he did it. And he claims that the sizes are all based on how much time and how many pages people did.
Right.
So the more you worked on the book, the bigger your name is. So Todd McFarlane's name is the largest. Greg Capullo is maybe the second largest. Brian Hogwins is pretty big. Simon Kurdansky is pretty big because he drew like 60, 70 issues or something maybe. And then Tom Orzechowski's name is pretty big, although I think it maybe actually should be a little bit bigger based on how much he did. And McFarlane talks about him in the letter at the beginning of this, and I was not aware of this. So if you go look at issue 1, and you open up and you look at the credits in the opening flap, Orzechowski is there from the very beginning.
Really?
And he lettered. Now, I don't know if he's still doing it now, because again, this is 312. This is a few years ago at this point. But up to at least this point, he lettered every single issue except for one.
Oh, wow.
So he must have just been sick that day. I don't know what happened there. But he lettered like almost every issue of this book. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I thought McFarlane. I always thought McFarlane lettered everything too. I guess.
I kind of thought he did at least some of the lettering. Apparently not, because it's so much a part of the art.
Yeah, it really is.
And maybe it's that like the lettering in most speech bubbles is done by Orzechowski, but then McFarlane, when you get into the big dramatic like onomatopoeia words, or some of Clown's like crazy multicolored words and stuff. Maybe that's part of the artwork. I'd love to know that. I actually don't know for sure. But I also cracked this actual book open and read it, and I had the thing that I do often with Spawn, which is out of any kind of context. I thought this was pretty good because I've not read what happened right before it. And so I read it with the rest of it. It probably makes no sense at all, but I was actually sort of enjoying it. This is apparently the issue right after Gunslinger Spawn has shown up in present day. Like, he's just arrived. And so this would be, I would assume, right before he gets his own book. Because that book is up past 50 now.
Oh, wow.
King Spawn is past 50. Gunslinger Spawn is past 50. I think Scorched, I think that's the name of it. I couldn't remember it earlier. That book that I was talking about with Jessica Priest, with Sheesma, I think it's past 50. It's nuts, all these side books that have been lengthy monthlies that have gone that long at this point. Anyway, other books I got for Comic Book Day stuff. So I did get that Energon Universe one shot that Austin's gonna have to pay for, and then I got the Avengers Armageddon one just because it was there. I thumbed through this. I couldn't get real excited about that art or much of anything. The Red Hulk stuff has never really done it for me. Like I don't love Ross in that character, but he at this point has apparently, into this anyway, like taken over the world through politics, kind of. And so he's turned the entire world into a quote-unquote democracy, but it's really like a conspiracy to make people vote the way you want to make them vote, and the whole thing is like a real obvious like political allegory. And it's too on the nose, it's too obvious. Like the phrase "no king" shows up in it, and it's just like I know, like I get what you're doing. I don't know.
Which reminds me, because I didn't mention it, Zatanna has a little bit of that, but done very well against the reverse. Where like I thought it was very tastefully done,
Oh, cool.
and it has the end Zatanna talking about like how times are getting a little rough, and like now's the time to like bring people together and like that kind of a thing. And I was like, that's how you do it.
I got the Alien one that's got previews for Planet of the Apes, Alien, and Predator. And what's kind of neat about this, if you picked this up on Saturday and you thumb through it, so I didn't full on read any of this except for the last one with Planet of the Apes, but there's an Alien one and a Predator one, and then at the end, if you didn't know they were doing a Planet of the Apes versus Predator book, you would think you were just looking at Planet of the Apes, and then a Predator shows up on the very last page.
Oh, nice.
And I think that's kind of a neat way to sell that. So if you pick this up and just look at this cover, you don't know that Planet of the Apes will cross with the other two. And I thought that was a super cool way to sell it.
That's cool. That cover reminds me of the AVP Extinction game for PS2. It's like an old strategy game, and it just has me thinking like, give me that game. Give me a AVP v POTA.
There comes a point where you just can't do the acronym thing anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nicholas Bodo, is King Spawn more controlled than Curse of the Spawn? Well, from what I haven't read any of it, I recently thumbed through an issue or two, and as far as I can tell, it's just an Al Simmons focused book. So like, if you didn't see King Spawn on the cover, you would think you were just reading an issue of Spawn. So I think it's just more Al Simmons focused, and I think the main Spawn book, and I could be wrong about this because I haven't actively been reading it, but as far as I can tell, for quite a while, it's been more of a team book, where like it's been several Spawns all on a team together having adventures, and then King Spawn is the Al Simmons book. So I think if you read that, it's more like reading a traditional Spawn book.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like what we do with X-Men, where it's like, or what we used to do, where it'd be like, here's the new team. The classic team that is like in this other book.
Yeah, kind of.
I guess we still kind of have that, because we have like a kind of 90s looking X-Men book. It's like a side one.
Well, and we're also like with X-Men often spinning off these other characters even into their own books too.
Yeah,
because Gunslinger's got his own, and She-Spawn now has her own, and
and like I know there is like it with X-Men, like Inglorious X-Men. It's a Tim Seeley book, but they've tried to make it look like 90s X-Force.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got one from Mad Cave.
Yes,
Chris.
yes.
Did you pick this up?
I did actually.
This is
yes.
Terror Bites. Terror Bites.
Yes. It's by Mark Russell, and he's a writer who, he does a lot of like political allegory stuff, but he does it a little bit. It sounds like a little bit more tasteful than the other book we mentioned.
Yeah, I read this. I don't know if I would call it tasteful, but I don't think it's tasteless. Like, it's not insulting. It's really over the top, biting satire.
Yeah. The Mark.
So it's basically saying the future is cooked.
Yeah.
And it's taking what's happening now, but to the absolute nines.
Yes.
And it's like a corporation trying to get a new piece of technology like patented and sold, and like trying to get somebody to back it monetarily. And the thing they're trying to sell is this device that you would connect directly to your brain. This is set like 100 years from now. It's a device that would connect directly to your brain, where when you die, you relive experiences you've had in your life already, instead of seeing like whatever awful things are around you and having to just deal with like a nursemaid or like your family giving you crap or whatever it is. And it sounds like the sort of technology that is horrifying and no one should use, but then people would buy it. You know what I mean? He came up with a product like that.
It's a torment matrix, yo.
Yeah.
Mark Russell, the things that you might know him from, he did a Prez book for DC a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
He also did that Flintstones one.
I heard that was weird.
Oh, I've heard that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, but you just have to know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm. I didn't read that one.
Yeah,
I read the Jetsons one, but I didn't read that one.
Well, I know with that one too, with a lot of the stuff about the war against the Neanderthals, how I guess his thinking was that since the Flintstones was based on the Honeymooners, and Ralph Cramden was like a vet, was like a World War II veteran, it only made sense that Fred Flintstone would be a veteran too. It's like, okay, who was he fighting? The Neanderthals.
Oh, that's great.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And
no, I've heard from people that was their favorite of those Hanna-Barbera books.
Yeah. It was one of those that it was, my understanding, I've only read bits and pieces of it, that it was so weird, but weird in a creative way, a weird in an interesting way. But, like, on its own, when you read it in isolation, when you have the panel of, like, Fred Flintstone be like, Bonnie, we participated in a genocide. It's like, that could be a little off-putting.
I mean, considering the original show is basically just, I'm gonna go have my shower, here's my elephant trunk, and then it cuts to the elephant, and you thought your life sucked.
It's a living.
Like, yeah, I think stuff like that just has to find a way to be upfront about what it is. So that probably needed some kind of a moniker in the title. It probably couldn't just be called The Flintstones. It needed something descriptive that told you what you were getting yourself into, probably. Now, I mean, I wouldn't want it to be called, like, Dark Flintstones, but I'm just saying something.
The Flintstones Dark Universe.
It tells you what it is. Anyway, I'm going to roll through these. Mikey got, so like I said, he got a bunch of these too, and he grabbed the Amazing Spider-Man one that's got the Queen in Black preview and some, I'm sorry to say, kind of embarrassing art from John Romita Jr. for the Amazing Spider-Man section. It's just some of the, like, the worst John Romita art I've seen in a long time, and it's kind of sad. Like, his heart just does not seem to be in it with this stuff. I did not really read through this because I just don't care about Spider-Man right now. But anyway, there's that.
And Romita's really hurt too by just like modern digital inking and coloring as well.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Maybe it's not his fault really, but it doesn't look good.
It could be a mix. Like, I'm not saying that like he's off the hook for that. I'm just saying, like, having not seen it, like, it could be a mix.
They did a tie-in to the new Lego Batman game, Legacy of the Dark Knight, which I'm really excited about, but don't have a way to play when it comes out, and so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I mean, I kind of want to wait till it gets cheaper anyway, because the Lego games always get cheaper, and I'm not going to buy that at $70 or $80. That would be kind of crazy.
Is it on Steam at all?
But
no, I forgot that
it will be, but it's
out.
like... So the problem is, this is just a me problem.
Right.
My machine, I'm sure, will run it. I've got a good gaming machine.
Yeah.
But the problem is, my wife's gonna want to play that, and I just don't know if she's gonna want to come down and have to play on the computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not a system seller kind of game, so like I'm not gonna buy a Switch 2 for that.
Yeah.
So
no, I'll probably wait. Like, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That game's coming out soon. It looks good, but like the new Bond game comes out like a week after, and like I have to prioritize that. Like, I'm so excited.
It's a Bond game from the Hitman people, and that's
and I've waited like a decade for a new Bond game.
Exactly. Yeah, apparently this is like the first Bond game in like
since 2012, since Skyfall came out.
Yeah. I didn't realize that until I was watching like Outside Xbox or something where they're talking about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's plus I haven't even played Resident Evil 9 yet. I mean, and this is obviously a very Capcom heavy show too, so I feel like I'm letting us all down.
Well, and I don't buy hardly any like real modern AAA stuff these days, so I don't have that problem. It's just, it's kind of more the other problem, which is because I'm not playing games like that right now, I don't have anything to run it. So anyway, Braden, can you hook the PC to your TV? I mean, that's awkward. Like, I can put it on my projector and we can play it down here. It's just, if I play with my wife, she's going to want to play upstairs.
Yeah.
The bunker gets cold. She doesn't like to hang out here that much.
That's fair.
Anyway, but I just wanted to talk about this for a second. So this is not very long. And I'm a little bummed if this is all we do for a tie-in, because I think we could have done a whole mini-series and they could have a whole lot of fun with it. Because this is very clever and real fun, and I appreciate the kind of glimpse at what the tone of that game is probably going to be. And we already from trailers had a sense of what character models we would pick for certain characters in that, but like it reminds us, okay, we're gonna go with the Batman and Robin version of Poison Ivy, but we're gonna go with the Dark Knight version of Joker, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's kind of fun to already see that blend of all screen stuff and comic stuff. It opens with a glimpse at 1938 Batman, and just Lego Batman with purple gloves is fun. And then it goes to a Dark Knight place where Batman, for no explanation we're given, hasn't been in Gotham in years, and he's finally coming back, and he's just trying to find something tasty to eat, and he doesn't have any pockets in his suit, so he didn't bring any money with him. So he goes to Condiment King, who's got a hot dog cart and has gone straight and is just selling hot dogs, and he can't get a hot dog because he forgot to put any money in his suit. And so it's just that kind of stuff, and it's really funny. And there's jokes about how there's not enough page count in this little free comic book day issue to give us to like flesh out characters or give us any kind of backstory or anything. So Batman, as he's narrating, is frustrated by how little real estate there is in the book for him to tell us anything. And for a free comic book day issue that's not allowed to have as many pages as your average book, that's not just a preview for a bigger book you can buy, there's a lot of fun to be had here, and it gives you your obligatory Dark Knight Returns lightning flash, which is great.
I love how the sound effect is Legos.
Yep.
That they spell out all the sound effect there in Lego bricks.
No,
that money joke reminds me of the Simpsons episode with Alan Moore, where they're at the Comic-Con, and I think it's the guy who made Mouse is talking to Lisa, or maybe it's like Ghost World. I don't know. It's
Daniel
something.
Klaus, yeah.
But and he's like, "Here's my," Lisa's like, "Oh, I love this book that you do," and he's like, "Do you know anybody that does Batman? Like, I really just want to draw Batman. Here's my drawings of Batman. This is the part in his belt where he keeps change in case he needs to take the bus."
I think about the Alan Moore, I love you, at least like once a day.
Oh, Alan Moore's performance in that episode is maybe the best thing Alan Moore's ever done.
Exactly.
It's wonderful.
Will you look how I made your favorite superhero jazz critic who isn't actually radioactive?
This is the only other issue that I want to spend any time on, and then I'll just kind of show you the rest of these. But we did get, and actually my shop didn't get a whole stack of these. Chris, not this Chris, but at the comic shop, just knows that I collect Power Rangers and thought to order me this because I didn't think to order one. I didn't even know if they were doing that at our store if you just had to get what you got. He was like, well, yeah, you could have ordered whichever ones you needed. And I was like, well, I didn't think to do that. But he did go ahead and get me the Power Ranger Zero, which is super cool of him. And this is yet another like 3-pack preview for the books that are about to come out, kind of like we did with Planet of the Apes and Alien Predator. And I did a whole show a few weeks ago talking about the books as announced. This gives us more of a sense of what those are going to be, for better or worse. I gotta say, all told, reading through this, and I'm going to give all 3 of them a chance, because it all is more of what I want from this franchise than something like Power Rangers Prime. So I feel like I have to give it a shot because they're sort of giving me what I asked for. But you guys, I gotta say, I kind of feel like the Power Rangers Boom thing is played out at this point, and it feels like they're grasping at straws, trying to figure out what the fans want from this franchise. One of the things that's awkward about it is with all three of these, I cannot tell if any of it is canon with the Boom Power Ranger stuff before this. Like, we sort of soft rebooted at the end of that when we went to Prime. Actually, that doesn't even feel like a soft reboot. That just feels like a whole other continuity. People talked about the last issue of Boom Power Rangers before we got to Prime like it was... like it did something in the story to reset the universe. I finally read it. It didn't do anything. Like, you could have just kept moving on from that. Yeah. I don't know what anyone was talking about with that. But anyway, so we've got 3 new books. I don't know if any of them are talking to each other really at all. And so I guess it's nice that you could kind of, you know, pick your poison with it. But the regular Power Rangers book is, you know, the Mighty Morphin book is Marguerite Bennett, who was the worst writer for my money in the Mighty Morphin book. She did Beyond the Grid. Nobody liked Beyond the Grid. I don't know why we're bringing her back. Hopefully she does a better job this time. Nothing against her. I mean, she seems excited to be here, but I didn't like that stuff at all. And she's doing this like future story that feels like almost a prequel to Once and Always, but I don't know if she's even looking at that material, where it's like how the Mighty Morphin Rangers, like in their 50s, finally get brought back together, because they are a team just established already by Once and Always, even though they're in their 50s. We're like, why are they still Power Rangers? There's no explanation in that special. And here we finally see why that happens. And again, I don't know if it's related to that or if it's just an alternate thing that is also doing that. It's a little bit awkward. And then at the end of it, we bring in this other new version of Rita Repulsa that's odd and strange, and I don't know what we're doing with that yet. It might be fine. I don't like the new suits. The big disappointment for me is the preview for Power Rangers Unlimited makes it clear that it's not exactly the anthology book that we all thought it was going to be. So it is going to be about a bunch of different Ranger teams, but there is a like connective tissue thing that's bringing them all together, and it does look like it's going to be one story told but then bringing in each issue a different team or like in different story arcs. I'm not sure, but they're doing... So we had a book called Power Rangers Unlimited before, which was not monthly, but they would occasionally do one, and it was stories from all over the continuity and just different Ranger shows. And this is a Ranger that like calls out to other Rangers throughout the time and the universe. And you think we'd just make it a Time Force Ranger. Yeah. You'd think Jen Scott or somebody would be that Ranger. But no, it's Trini. Why is it Trini? I don't even understand that. So she's got a yellow Mighty Morphin costume that's been kind of retooled and has the regular Power Ranger lightning bolt in the middle of it, and it looks really dumb. And they're calling her the Unlimited Ranger. I did not need this. This is goofy to me, even for Power Rangers. It's like the wrong kind of... I don't know why we're doing that. And what makes it really awkward is, once again, what is canonical? What what universe are we in? Right. So if it's Trini bringing people from different points of time and space, is she still gonna die in Once and Always? Is it all adventures that happen before that happen? Why don't we just make it a time-related Ranger? We have characters that do stuff like this already. Right. Why is it Trini? Oh, I mean, I don't understand that at all.
Are they trying to do like a tribute to the actress, or? Like,
I mean, I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah. But again, we did that one with Once and Always already.
Right.
And it was weird because we did a tribute to her by killing her in canon, which I've never known how to feel about. But anyway, so I don't know why that was the choice. I think there were better choices. And then the dystopian future Tommy book. I just can't get excited about the look of it, and tonally it's really odd. It might end up winning me over, but it's just not what I want. It's very strange, and it's this kind of Star Warsy sort of thing where somehow nobody knows, or at least they're pretending not to know, that Power Rangers were ever a thing.
Right.
And I'm not sure about it yet. So anyway, I'm lukewarm on the whole thing so far, and it feels kind of played out. And a part of me kind of wishes that they were just done, or that they would just like jump to Zeo and just do that.
Yeah,
but
I
anyway.
think
So that's where I'm at on that.
I think it a lot of times too, with a lot of like Power Rangers media, they forget that Mighty Morphin isn't the only series. And I think, like, even looking at, we were talking before about the role-playing game off camera, how that is so Mighty Morphin. And the way they break down, like, the classes in that is Mighty Morphin.
Well, I don't want to rehash all this, because
Yeah.
I did a whole show about the Mighty Morphin problem a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
This is their attempt at solving that.
Right.
And I just think they're grasping at straws. I don't think they know what people want. And
Yeah.
it's a complicated problem to solve. But I thought they were on the right track when they announced Unlimited, where it was like, we'll just do lots of cool stories with different teams.
Yeah.
You don't need that weird connective tissue piece to it.
Yeah,
I don't know why they're doing, especially if it's trainee.
Right.
I don't know why they're doing that. But I also think that admittedly, that would seem cooler if it was the only thing they were doing.
Yeah.
If that was the main book, the fact that they're doing a Mighty Morphin book where everybody's middle-aged, on top of that, that's part of what makes that weird.
Right.
But anyway, whatever. Other stuff I grabbed, they did a Free Comic Day reprint of Williamson's Superman #1, which I don't have a copy of, so I went ahead and grabbed that. And I always appreciate when, well, and actually I say Free Comic Day, this is Superman Day, so I don't know if they had a bunch of free comics for Superman Day, and then my shop just lumped it in with Free Comic Book Day. Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe they had something left over.
Yeah, maybe that's what that was. But I appreciate that Superman Day is like this little logo in the bottom, so it doesn't look like a lame free issue. Like, it looks like you actually own this comic. I kind of like that. And they did one for the current Supergirl as well, which I had not read yet, and I read this today, and it was fun. And I feel like, and I know, Austin, you've said that this book as fun and all ages feeling as it is at the start will go to darker places, but this kind of feels like the book I would eventually want to introduce my little girls to this character with. That was the feel I had with it.
Yeah.
Sure. No, and it's a good update on like Silver Age Supergirl stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, because obviously I'm still reading it, but like it's got hills and valleys. But I do like that book. I do think it's pretty good.
I like how do I want to put this? I like how effeminate it can get without like feeling like it's just for girls, or like there's no edge to it or anything. Like it's a real like feminine perspective that just works for it. Like I actually really like that about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I've seen that done really wrong before, and I'm impressed that Campbell knows how to handle that and that. I'm starting to get won over a little bit on that writer. And then they also did a Superman Day version of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And what they did with this is they took the Superman Day logo and they crossed out man and they put girl there because we have a Supergirl movie coming out, and so they put out a whole bunch of Supergirl stuff. And I can't begrudge them that. They've got that coming up. So this is now the 7th printing that I own or copy, I guess, of DC X Sonic, because they did a Free Comic Book Day.
Oh no!
Now, in my defense, I did not grab this. Mikey did. So this one's not mine. This is Mikey. Now we get into the stuff that I'm going to let Mikey have. So they did a Free Comic Book Day, but it's Comics Giveaway Day because it's Marvel. They did a
Diamond. That's why they're doing that too.
Right. They did a Free Comic Book Day copy of Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which my kids love and I cannot stand and kind of wish we never turned on, but whatever. And they're introducing a new so they've got Jeff the Landshark, because of course they do, and they're introducing a new character, Austin, called Symbi, which is like a little pet version of the Venom symbiote. It's
like to see it.
It's Symbi.
Have you introduced them yet to Do they have 3 shows now, or is it just 2? I know they did an Iron Man show.
The kids have watched that Iron Man show, and I think there's an Avengers one, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know what it's
I want
called.
to say there's 3. I think the Iron Man one is called Iron Man and His Amazing Friends.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
And then Mikey got Supergirl's Superheroes. Yeah. That's a new kids book. I don't know if that's just a one shot or if they're actually like continuing that. So this is the point I wanted to make about kids books with Free Comic Day. I walk in to my shop on Saturday, and I came right at the start, so nothing had been picked up yet. I got to see everything. They had, and there's more stuff that they didn't get, but they got 40 of what was offered, and most of what was on the table was up for grabs for kids, and I would say 60 to 70% of it looked like it was aimed at kids. And then there was a small section of maybe 8 to 10 books that they had labeled mature and were trying to make sure that kids did not pick up, which I appreciate that my shop was doing that. I'm so mixed on the turnout for children's books, because on the one hand, like, yay, we're actually paying attention to the kids. On the other hand, it feels like we're only doing that on Free Comic Book Day, because when we go through the new books coming out the next day on this show, how many kids' books do we see on the list?
Not
it's
very
hardly
many,
ever any. So we've got all of this stuff. Is it setting up monthlies or even miniseries that are going to happen? So what it feels like, because a lot of them just feel like one-shots.
Yeah.
So what it feels like is you're selling Free Comic Book Day to kids more than adults, because you think kids will come to into the door to get the cool kids books, and then now you've roped them in to sell what to them? Like, I don't even understand that.
Jump into whatever the new books are then, like, oh, I read this cool kid Superman book, now I can just read Superman.
Yeah, maybe, but then wouldn't you want to put a? And I will argue that there are several things that at least, not Marvel, but there are several things that at least DC are putting out that I would put in front of my kids and not be too worried about it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, Austin, then there needs to be a preview for one of those books at the end of your Free Comic Book Day issue. You need to put 4 or 5 pages of Williamson Superman at the end of your kiddie Superman book. Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah. No, very true.
And also, if you don't have a case Superman on shelves every month too,
this strategy makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, you got them in the store, but you have nothing to sell to them.
Yeah, you can't
Well,
really.
it's like the strategy's correct, but they're not following through.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
There's no product.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dynamite. Now, to be fair, Dynamite is doing some Disney books, so this is probably actually going to be an ongoing. But they did a Stitch book, and then there's also a manga Stitch book. We got 2 Stitch books, folks.
I'm telling you, it's Stitch. I went to the grocery store the other day, and they had a bunch of, it was Mickey, Simba, and Stitch merch.
There was a thing I saw.
So much of it.
Yeah, there's a video I saw where some guy was like, all right, if you have a shopping mall in your area, I have a challenge. Go to any store and look for Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. You will find him.
Oh, yeah. Not only will you find him, but all the products will be labeled Disney Stitch.
Yeah.
Screw Lilo. We don't give a crap about her
Sorry,
anymore.
Lilo.
I'm like irrationally upset about what has happened to Lilo.
Right,
I don't think that's fair to that character.
Really is.
That's why
Her
the
name was
live-action
first.
movie-
Exactly.
It was her and Stitch.
Exactly.
What are we doing?
That's why the live action one just has her get repossessed at the end. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Stitch is the one we care about.
Let me read the super chat real quick because I missed it earlier. Sorry. I want to say Senior Stitch, but I won't do that. I won't do that.
Stitch.
Spell it with a Y. Senior Sticks, $2 super chat. Will Spawn ever be relevant again? I think the short answer is not likely. It also depends always on what you mean by relevant, right? The only way you make Spawn relevant to the mainstream, anything like close to what he was in the 90s, and even then, I mean, it was more comics than anything, but obviously permeated into a movie and a cartoon show. There are people that liked Spawn that never read a Spawn comic.
Yeah.
There are also people that like Spawn that never read a Spawn comic that never looked at anything else either. They just thought it was cool because they bought figures or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, the only way you do that is by finally getting that movie out and anybody actually sees it.
Yeah.
And I still don't believe it will ever happen.
That Kevin
I don't
Smith
think
Savage
that's-
Witch movie is coming
I
out
think that's
now.
Toad.
That was supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what, Austin?
I said Todd missed his boat. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
easily could have capitalized on that more. And, like, to an extent, like, that's not even me criticizing him. I also don't like Spawn, so I don't care. But,
Yeah, sure.
like, there's also a level of respect you can have for not being like, oh, this thing sells well, I'm going to whore it out immediately. It's like, there is, like, a certain respect I can have for him not doing that. But he's also, like, really lost just the value of that and just, like, the overall pop culture sphere by not having it everywhere.
Mikey also got the Mega Man Showdown special. I didn't realize we were even making Mega Man comics anymore, but
did get that one.
but it is Udon that's been doing all this Capcom stuff. So Archie doesn't even have Mega Man anymore. They don't have
Yeah.
Sonic. They don't have Mega Man. It's this Udon press. And the art looks more or less what it did at Archie. There's nothing going on in the backgrounds, but like it looks kind of like the Street Fighter books. I think the art is just serviceable in those. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
The action can get dynamic, but overall, I think it could be improved. They need to step up on their art.
When are we getting Mega Man versus Godzilla at this point, though?
Mega Man like beats Godzilla and gets equipped with radioactive blast.
Here's that
Yeah,
Street Fighter
exactly.
book.
Yeah. He uses it to
Oh, okay,
beat
you
them.
did pick that up. Cool.
Mikey read this. I have not, but they did a Garfield one shot. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Pardon me. So this, I just kind of thumbing through this and looking at it at a few bits of it. So this is Boom, and this seems really authentic to old school Garfield writing and art too. Like it seems to really nail the whole thing. Whoever put this together.
Well, I wonder, like, Jim Davis, maybe. I think that's his name, right? The guy who made
Yeah.
Garfield.
Yeah.
It probably still has like a pretty tight hold on that stuff, I would imagine.
He does. He's got like his
And he's one of those creators that's let Garfield be everywhere, but like it feels like
Yeah.
we never stray too far away.
Well, what's funny too
We do a
is-
dream sequence at the opening of this where Garfield's a superhero, and it's
Yeah.
just wonderful.
What's funny too is that like, are you familiar with Garfield minus Garfield?
Oh yeah, Garfield
Yeah.
minus
Yeah.
Garfield's wonderful. Yeah.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's funny because that's technically officially licensed. Where the guy who did it was like deathly afraid that Jim Davis would find it. Jim Davis found it as like, this is amazing. How would you like to make collections of this? How would you like to release this officially? And like, okay,
That's awesome.
yeah.
We love to see stuff like that, as opposed to
Yeah.
when you freak out and shut it down.
Lawyer up real fast, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I've heard that like,
Well, I mean, if you hate the thing, you don't need to litigate it. You just ignore it.
yeah,
And if you like it, then you don't need to litigate. You can just support it and then like profit from it.
Yeah.
Like why not?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it is
Although
your thing,
liking it and
so-
litigating it is a funny option.
Yeah, but that I
Yeah.
guarantee you that happens.
somebody brings a lawyer. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, it
this
probably
is
does.
great. It's too good for this world.
Yeah, well, my argument for that is what happened with Star Trek fan films is when there was no Star Trek happening at all besides the Abrams movies, and you had Axanar happening, and Axanar got sued up the wazoo. I swear to God, they looked at that and they went, "This looks too professional," and it had like Star Trek alum actors and stuff, and they went, "This looks too professional. They're outshining us too hard.
Right.
Like it's too good." They went after that because it was good.
Yeah.
No, there's lots of good Garfield stuff like that too.
And there were points to be made with that where it did look like, and I don't know the ins and outs of it. It looked like they, or at least allegedly, they were maybe pocketing some of the money and not actually spending it all on the film and all of that.
Right.
But what came out of all of that was this horrible new rule system where like Star Trek fan films couldn't have Star Trek in the title and they weren't allowed to be longer than 15 minutes, and
Right.
it's just absurd what came out of that whole thing. So saying that's an example of like maybe they didn't like it, but in the sense of it was too good. Like
Yeah. No, and the pinnacle of Garfield will always be sex survey results by Lasagna Cat,
Yes.
which is the greatest thing of all time.
I love Lasagna Cat so much. I just remember, like, I forget even where I heard about it. I think it was like some forum, and it was the one where it was Garfield, where's my purse? And then they go into like the Europop. It's like Garfield ate a purse. You do not eat purses.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
I was just gonna blow through these, but then I bring up Garfield. Now we got to talk about Garfield. Okay, and then the Sonic giveaway was just the first issue of IDW Sonic again, and I already have that, and somehow I wound up with 2 copies of this. So Chris, you can have one of these because
Thank you.
I have 2 of these.
I'll
And
treasure
then-
it always.
And then they did something
Immediately
called-
folds it.
They did
It's very flat.
They did
very
something.
flat.
No, it's a free comic book day issue. It's gonna keep it pristine.
It's my 9/8 right there.
They did something called Aquamanatee for kids.
Okay.
Now, something to be going back to the point I made earlier that I was not thinking about before. To their credit and possibly to their detriment, some of this, because that's what this is now that I'm looking at it, some of this might be previews of one-shot graphic novels that are sold to kids, because we don't sell a lot of single issues to kids. When we make kids stuff, we tend to make it like tray size in the first place. So maybe that's what the free comic book day stuff is, but then they should make it like this does on the cover, a lot clearer. Like that's what it is. Like this is just a preview for a thicker thing you can go get. And the thing is, a lot of the time the comic shops don't have those.
Right.
Like you either order those online or you find them at a Barnes and Noble or a Target or something. Like that's where I tend to see the aimed at kids graphic novels. I almost don't even put them in the same category as comics, even though I mean they are.
Yeah.
But they're not sold that way. They're sold more like books are sold.
Yeah, I guess maybe the logic behind that is that it's easier to reach that demographic that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
It's probably easier for parents to buy something just in like one quick burst versus like something spread out over, months.
Well, and the cynic in me thinks that we're to a point where the publishers assume that most of the comic buyers don't have kids anymore, and that like it's not or like their kids are out of the house because it's a lot of like middle-aged to like 50-60-year-olds buying comics now. And so the parents that are buying, if they are buying comics for their kids, they're not necessarily comic readers themselves.
Yeah.
And so now the demographics are split, and you're buying that at a Walmart or a Target.
No, for sure. That was a big thing in that Conway interview that I watched today. A lot of time that he talks about that a lot, about like just that shift in how we don't make comics for kids anymore. And he talked specifically about Spider-Man and like kind of broke it down and was like, and this is obviously just his opinion, but like how the young Spider-Man is like the core. This is what you get into, and like wanting him to grow up is something that we as adults that grew up with that have, but that doesn't introduce new people because you've lost the archetype of Spider-Man, which is what gets kids into it. And I was like, that is an interesting point that we don't tend to think about just because we did grow up with it. Like we're already in. And I was like,
it's a hard problem to solve. And like Ultimate worked, but how many times can you do that?
Yeah.
When his pitch is every 10 years, you do another Ultimate.
I've heard other people say that too. Yeah. Well, and what what I want to say is, and this also doesn't totally work because it would just be too much. What I want to say is, if we hadn't had a giant quality loss, because we get to a place about 20 years ago, at least, where it just falls off a cliff, and like you'll occasionally have a good Spider-Man story, but like the ongoing continuity of it, like a lot of us just can't really get invested in it anymore. I can't take seriously. But like what you want to be able to do is give kids the early stuff, let it be just one story, and eventually catch up to now.
Right.
And we live in a time where you can do that cheaply because you can read digitally. The problem is it is too many issues.
Yeah.
Like that is too much to ask any kid to do. And you can say like, well, kids aren't gonna relate to 60s comics anyway, and whatever. I don't know. My kids will read stuff from that from that time period. Like
it is like a hard point. Like it's hard to say because. I have the same thing. Like I had no issue going back to 60s comics, but I also understand that there are people that have that. So I'm like, I get the need to have something like that where like, and I mean, I also to a degree had that as a kid in that Ultimate Spider-Man was starting when I was very young. So like I technically do have something that can like boost me into then reading that old stuff. So I guess actually I'm maybe an example of why something like Ultimate should kind of always stick around and why there should always be that kind of a thing. I don't know.
that's probably the solution.
Yeah, because I'm also not advocating for stuff like that going away, but like I do think that you can have both. And I've talked about too on the channel with some of the Black Label stuff we've done with Batman, where it's like it would be cool to also allow writers to have endings that are out of continuity, and then the book keeps going. So like you have also exit points for people if they want it.
Well, I was gonna say actually, I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe I'll decide I don't even agree with myself on this, Austin. But I was gonna suggest maybe the opposite of that. Actually, I was gonna suggest maybe Spider-Man at its core is a story that has to have an end point. Maybe it should never continue on forever. Maybe we should let the main book have an ending. And so when you reboot every 10 years, you're gonna have some of the same characters and have some of the same story points, but every time you're gonna tell it differently, and you always have an end point. And maybe you do a version of it that can continue past that for the people that grew up with it, but even that eventually has to have an end point. Like maybe you do your 10 years that gets Peter Parker to a certain age, and sometimes we allow him to get even older than that, or maybe sometimes we do a time jump and then we do something like a Mayday Parker when he's a cop in his 40s and that sort of thing. But I think maybe you should let the story end, like in 616.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man, just by its nature, like what the core appeal is a story made to end. Like, absolutely.
I would almost argue if you had it to go back and do all over again, and like, it goes without saying, I've never liked the Spider-Verse concept, really. Instead of that, and again, you can't do it now, but like, if you had it to go back and do all over again, Austin, what if we had let it go in sort of real time? I mean, you'd have something of a sliding time scale, but let it be generational. Like, let the continuity continue, but like, Peter Parker retires, he dies, he has a kid that has spider powers.
And that's
you let that character keep going. Like let it be generational. That's how you get multiple spider characters, and then Peter Parker can have in Ultimate Book that reboots every 10 years, like you're suggesting.
I mean, that's kind of what they did in the first Ultimate line too with Miles, where they killed off Peter Parker and then brought in like a different Spider-Man who.
Right.
And that was right before they scrapped the whole universe.
Yeah, they actually did that.
Yeah.
They did exactly what I'm suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I mean, that's the thing that we've talked about where, like, the MCU kind of becomes the new Ultimate for a new generation.
Yeah.
And the comics also failed to capitalize on that, which I think we can just all agree to. Like, that's kind of, like, objectively correct with where we're at this point.
Yeah. But absolutely.
Yeah.
It needs a reboot now too, and it has in my mind for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you brought up Gerry Conway. let's go ahead and finally get to
Yes.
a Gerry Conway book. Here comes...
Oh, hey, it's us.
It's us. Here comes Amazing Spider-Man number 129. This is the first appearance of the Punisher. He's different. He's deadly. He's the Punisher. And the Punisher, a character who absolutely should not work with the Jackal or believe that there's any chance that the Jackal has at all his same agenda or worldview or way of looking at things. That's kind of the biggest issue I have with this, is the Punisher looks like a little bit of a patsy by even working with the Jackal. But the thing I really like about the Punisher's characterization is from the very start, Conway has a complete handle on who he is and who he's supposed to be moving forward. Even though we don't have his backstory or anything, he's very mysterious.
Yeah.
Like we know something must have happened to him to give him this worldview, but we're told he thinks it is correct and necessary to kill people that deserve it, and he makes a massive emphasis on he doesn't like doing it, he just has to. And that's that character.
Yeah. No, and this issue had a very good adaptation. It was called Sonic 3.
That's hilarious.
But,
Is it
like, in all seriousness, it kind of has that similar thing where it's like a villain comes in and is like, anti-hero guy, the hero is the bad guy, go fight him, and I'm gonna be doing my machinations in the background. And
Isn't Frank Castle the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Marvel Universe?
he's the Knuckles. He's like, you're right, Eggman, I can trust you. That Sonic is a bad dude. I'm gonna go get him.
That'd be Sonic 2. That's why at first I wasn't sure if you were talking about Knuckles or Shadow, but they did that in Sonic 2.
I mean,
I'm talking about the games.
Yeah, well, Shadow...
I thought you meant the movie.
I wasn't even thinking
yeah.
of the movies. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the games.
I was gonna say Shadow is the one that has the gun. So
you are correct. That is Sonic 3.
Sorry, I forgot that the movies existed.
Yeah, I've never forgotten for a second.
And I feel like a jerk for going to the movies first, but for whatever reason, I just thought that's what you meant. I don't know.
No, I mean, fair enough, because that also is Shadow, who was the gun Sonic,
Yeah,
so, like,
gun Sonic.
that makes sense. Shadow's also just kind of another Knuckles. That's always been my issue with Shadow.
Yeah.
But anyways...
he's just more tragic, because it's about a character he lost that he cared about versus an emerald.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, they're the same in that it's like, the kind of darker one.
Yes.
That kind of archetype. But no, I haven't read this in probably 10 years, and it was really fun to come back to, and I agree, Cap. I think Punisher is just pretty formed here. Like, obviously he's mysterious, we don't know every detail, but, like, he's the Punisher, like...
There's even some dialogue, too, where Spider-Man makes comments about, like, I've heard this Punisher guy, I don't agree with his methods. So that even, like, the continuity of the story, the Punisher's been around for a bit.
Well, and I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's like we just made up this character and retroactively we're going to act like he's been a big deal. Like, it might have been nice if we had some mentions of him before this.
Yeah.
I don't think there are.
The audience doesn't know who he is, but Peter Parker sure does.
And I think the next appearance is where we introduce Jigsaw, but I could be wrong. It is in Spider-Man, though.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not the second one.
To a lesser degree, Chris, it feels a little bit like the way we introduce the Cardassians in TNG with the Wounded, where Picard opens that episode with his log. It's like, the war between the Federation and Cardassia is between the Bajorans and the Cardassians is finally ended. And I'm like, we've never heard about this before.
Which
like,
war you think we've heard of that?
happening.
Yeah. The Cardassians, they're always at war with somebody.
My big takeaway going back to this, Austin, was this just made me want to go back and read this run and read all the way up, because I mean, I've always jumped around. Like, I've never read everything around this, and I always have this with especially this period where there's such a thick continuity happening. There's a decent amount of recapping, and we always do this in 60s, 70s, 80s comics, because you've got that that idea of like every comic is somebody's first comic, so you're still supposed to be able to just pick up the one issue, but it's very involved, and I'm like, this is such a juicy period where it's like Gwen Stacy just died like 8 issues ago, and you've got all these interesting subplots happening, and you've got Mary Jane like trying to decide if she's gonna swoop in yet or not because Gwen Stacy just died. Like, what is her part in all of this? And you've got like Betty Brant kind of tiptoeing around Peter a little bit. It's very involved.
Yeah.
No, it's one of the all-time great runs on the characters, on the character, and like it's just such an important run too. There's so many important like things everybody thinks of with Spider-Man that come from this. Like obviously you're talking about Death of Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
The Clone Saga technically spawns out of this run as well, because this is where we get the original clone.
Yep.
And obviously the Jackal's a big part of the Clone Saga. There's so much stuff in this run. The Punisher, obviously. Just a lot of great stuff.
And it's just a perfect blend of drama and action.
Yeah, and Conway's a really good take on this character. He's also like 20 when he got this book. Like that's crazy.
He was like
That's
19
wild.
Writing 19-year-old Peter Parker too.
I forgot all
He was
about that.
15 when he started writing comics. Like that's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, wasn't like Jim Shooter like 13 when he started writing Legion? Did he just
He was
write
also like a teenager.
Yeah.
That's wild.
No, exactly. Well, that would not happen today, but like it's crazy.
Sad to say,
Yeah.
But this stuff is so much more high profile now, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. No, he had an interesting take on that when, like, in that interview where he talked about how, like, this is such just a medium for teens. Like, it makes sense to have teens write it because they're, like, way more with what, like, the people that should be reading comics, or not should be, but you know what I mean, like, the kind of target audience are into. So, like, they have that voice better and, like, can maybe catch on to that audience more.
Yeah, and you read like a lot of like early X-Men, and it's like, Stan, do you know how kids talk? Do you know that kids don't actually say "yabo"? That's we're 16 years old, gonna put on our plaid suit and shout "yabo."
well, that's a good point. Like he basically is still a teenager, and so he's gonna be able to relate to that base. And
Yeah. No, this is already like a college age Peter too. So like he'd probably be almost exactly the age Peter is here.
Yeah, Harry Osborn there too.
Yeah, crazy Harry Osborn that's like just lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
so just kind of putting a pin in that subplot.
So,
Yeah.
and I love
That's
this.
very classic comics where it's like he pops in for a scene and it's like, that's gonna lead to something bigger.
It's a C plot in our Levitt's Paradigm, or wherever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I do love how the Punisher's mad. Like, no, I wanted to shoot him, but he fell off a building. That's not how I roll. It's
Yeah, but I also kind of buy his code with that.
yeah, exactly. You can tell he's got a code.
It does lead to the funniest moment in the entire issue, though, where Spider-Man falls off the building and they're like, okay, good, he's dead. Like, let's go home. And then they leave, and then the Punisher is walking and he sees, like, from an alley, he sees Spider-Man swing down to street level, and the Punisher's like, Spider-Man, how could he possibly be alive? And it's like the thing you just saw him do. Basically explains it.
No, that's a good point. I go back to an issue like this, and this isn't fair because there's obviously lots of great action in art in modern comics, and we've come back around, and that feels more true now than it did a few years ago. Unless you're Marvel for the most part, because they still don't have people punching each other enough. But I go back and look at an issue like this, and I can't help but think like, oh yeah, I kind of miss when comics looked like this. Like all the action is just so like obnoxiously grand. Everything's so dynamic. All the blows are supposed to like really hit and feel really visceral.
Yeah.
And I like how like escapist it is, but there's also so much impact in the actual like, kinetic energy of the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just
No.
splashy and colorful. And...
Yeah, exactly. No, and obviously like, back then we used to use a lot more shorthand as opposed to that kind of more cinematic-y way of doing comics now where like you'll maybe hold on a moment longer. And like obviously I can understand both ways. But,
Yeah,
like,
that's true. But this does end up being more economical, where you can get more done in an issue.
yeah.
And you
Yeah,
get
exactly.
that real fine line where it's kind of in modern comics where it's difficult to tell if we're not getting as much done in an issue because we want it to feel more cinematic, and so you just can't, or if we're intentionally stretching stuff to force you to buy more issues. And I can't always tell which it is.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Like it's very much a like older TV versus streaming thing to me.
Absolutely,
Where it's like
yeah.
that kind of pacing.
No, that's true. But that's always refreshing to me to go back to. Where like
Yeah.
I read an issue like this and I'm like, man, if I was around and buying comics when this came out, like how much more like bang for your buck are you getting for how little an issue costs?
Yeah, when you only have to pay a quarter to get a digital issue.
Yeah.
and it takes like 25 minutes to read when you're a kid.
No, it's the thing we laughed about when we did the Daredevil one. It was like, full feature length story. And you're like, I mean, you made it feel like it.
It kinda is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought Punisher. I bought this well enough that the Punisher thinks that Spider-Man is a menace, and I kind of like that it's. I guess he's buying into the press too much, you know. Like Punisher needs to stop believing everything he reads.
No, and I mean it's good actions and consequences. Where like this is right after Green Goblin died, so like there's that question of like, oh, Spider-Man killed Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we do with the 90s cartoon adaptation of this, except instead they basically do it as like the Gwen thing with like MJ, where it's like, oh well, she disappeared, so Spider-Man must have killed her.
Well, I like the
And Mary Jane's aunt is Jackal in that version of the story, which is kind of funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like the way we get into Peter's head with that, and he's kind of weighing his options, because it helps you believe the way the public is looking at it more too, where he's going, well, everybody thinks that I did this, and like I can't come out and make any kind of statements, or I'm risking everyone knowing who I am, so I have to just be silent, not say anything, and that kind of makes you look worse. And so, like, I like that we get, that we get into the motivation and the kind of dilemma of like, should I say anything about this or not?
No, I love the kind of pulpy narration there, where he's like, "Oh, like, what do I say to Harry?" But then he would find out that I'm Spider-Man, and then in the narration box, it's like, he does already.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
And that's with, the panels of, like, Harry freaking out and sweating.
Yeah, going back to, like, drug addict Harry.
Yeah, I know.
He's looking crazy.
Exactly. Harry, who canonically does drugs. They never specify which kind, just drugs.
Well, and that gives comics for this period, especially at Marvel, a lot of personality.
Yeah.
Like the book itself, like the story itself can take itself as seriously as it wants to. There's this attitude from the book that keeps it light and always says, like don't forget you're reading, in a fiction, and it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And so it's like as heavy as the heavier the story gets, sometimes it feels like the lighter the editorial gets.
Yeah. No, very true. And I mean, it's soap operas for little boys.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's going crazy. He's on drugs. And it makes sense too, the way Spectacular adapted that, where it kind of merges this stuff with the drug issues as well.
I don't know if I've ever actually sat down and read those.
I I want to say you did a vault on it, but I could be
Oh,
wrong.
maybe so. I don't know. I've done the vault on lots of things I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was in an omnibus, so it was also like mixed with stuff. But like, I want to say I
so.
could be wrong. But
Well,
I
anything
think
else
so.
you guys want to say about this issue before we move on?
That's very classic.
It is, yeah. I mean, not a bad read. Again, consider what the Punisher become. It's funny how his first story is, a supervillain putting a hit on Spider-Man, basically.
It's,
No, and he's a villain for a while.
Yeah.
well, what's funny is he already retroactively, because obviously I can't put on a hat that says like I don't know who the Punisher is before I'm reading this. So like retroactively, it feels like a team up. Like it feels like the Punisher should have already existed in his own book or someplace else before we're here. And so I get that if you're reading this in sequence, he is technically going to be a villain, but even here he doesn't read that way. It reads like a very ethnically ambiguous hero.
Yeah.
No, and like we'll start getting the rubber bullets thing with like the team ups, and like I find it's been a long time, but from what I remember, because he bounces around from Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Captain America, and he's got like a more of an antagonistic relationship with Daredevil and Captain America, while Spider-Man, there's like kind of what you have here, where it's like he's a villain, but also like begrudging teammate. And then obviously, like I said, you'll get the like rubber bullets thing in his next appearances, and we introduce Jigsaw.
Well, and it feels so weird that he's introduced in like their main superhero book when down the road, the darker he gets, the more we have to struggle to make him feel like he even fits in a universe with superheroes in it.
Yeah.
Well, it's why, because there was talk about like, oh, could you do PG-13 Punisher like under Disney or whatever? And I've always maintained yes, you just can't do Punisher Max.
Yeah.
You just go back to the old school Punisher, which I'm fine with because I like both.
I mean, even the animated series did the Punisher.
Yeah, he's really funny in that.
Yeah. I love his like Christopher Walken voice too.
No, when he's introduced, he's holding a gun and he walks up and just kicks a bunch of people into boxes. And he goes, "Next time, it's gonna be lethal." And then he leaves.
Josh says that I did that vault when Stan Lee died, so I'll have to go back and listen to that and find out what I said about it.
See, I was thinking like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, right now I want to shake the phone and find out what our cover of the week will be for next time, and then we'll take just a real quick break before we get to the feature book, which I don't know that we're going to have to spend a whole lot of time on, but 2.5 hours, I need to get up for a minute. So anyway, let's shake the phone. Do you want to do it?
Might as well, I'll do it.
Hopefully you don't have to shake it 4 times this time to get something that is valid, but let's find out.
Let's see here.
Do you know how to shake? You gotta actually shake the
Amazing Spider-Man 130.
Oh.
What did we get here? Oh no! I don't know if I want to do this, actually. This is... Yeah, I know.
I'll do it 4 times.
Yeah, you're gonna give Chris a condition, like just every time he shakes, you're like, oh, no, not that one. No.
Yeah, but as soon as I tell you what it is, you're gonna groan. This is the was this even a mini or an ongoing or just a one shot? I'm not even sure. But anyway, this is Ninja Turtles. This is Jenica #1. This is like after she became a Ninja Turtle, and then they gave her her own book.
Oh, beautiful.
And I don't want to read that.
We could shake it again.
I don't like that Jenica stuff at all, but I mean, I'll do it. Okay.
You're resigned to it. You're like, all right.
I guess we got
This
to
be
do
my
it.
destiny.
This man, this monster, this Jenica.
You're under all the rubble, and you got to lift it up so you can get home to read Jenica issue 1.
This is not even that book. It's gonna take me a minute to find this because it said volume 2, so like I don't even know what we were doing with this.
You tried finding, you just found better comics instead.
Yeah, exactly. No, here it is.
I don't know if it's true, but I heard if you just Google Jenica issue 1, it gives you the suicide hotline number at the top.
You gotta love that Jenica's signature weapon. Well, she's got like a bow and arrow. Apparently, she's got arrows, which I didn't remember.
Wolverine claws,
And then
right?
she's got Wolverine claws, but she has 4 instead of 3. I guess she's supposed to be like even more badass than Wolverine. She gets 4 Wolverine claws on each hand.
Was it also funny because she has 3 fingers, so she's a turtle?
Exactly.
Take those photos as you're gonna do it and like it. Okay, fine. It's fine. We'll give it the old college try.
I was gonna say, was it?
Look, I don't hate that character, and to be fair, she was pre-established, and I liked her fine before she became a Ninja Turtle. It's just that she took the book over. And it felt like this massive overcompensating thing. I had a hard time not looking at it as and I don't want to get political about this, but I had a hard time not looking at it as like kind of socially motivated, where it was like, it's a team of just boys. We got to put a girl in there. And then it's like, well, okay. I mean, if you want to do that, just let her be part of the team and have a cool team dynamic. But it was like, no, not only do you have to have a girl in there, but it's got to be all about her now. And like, I found that irritating.
You're like, look, okay, I don't put Starscream in your Barbie movie, okay?
Yeah.
Let me have it.
Look, Starscream should just be in every movie, though. Let's be fair.
I agree. That was a
Talk
bad
about Barbie.
example.
If you put
He should
Starscream in
be.
Oppenheimer, that
Look,
That'd be wonderful.
Look, when
He
they
dropped the bomb.
first did it, I didn't roll my eyes. I was curious about where it would go. I didn't roll my eyes until a few issues in, where I'm like, oh, okay, it's her book now.
right.
Oh, we love to see it. I'm excited to read Jenica issue 1, volume 2.
Anyway, let's take a real quick break. We'll be back in about 4 minutes, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. And when we come back, we will review Superman versus Spider-Man. So don't go anywhere. And we are back. We have one more major segment to do, although I forgot to show a couple of other things that I bought last week in the realm of comics, so I'll do this very quickly. You guys, I can't explain the Spawn kick I'm on. I can't explain it, but I
no.
Well, so
you're living the Harry Osborn drug issues.
For the record, I have been planning on rebuying my entire old Spawn collection in trade, and I finally started doing more of that. So I bought the first 6 compendiums months ago. I found a really good deal on eBay, and I was able to get that whole set before 7 even came out. So 7 is issues 300 to 350, and Amazon had that on sale for half price, so I felt like that was the time to finally snag it. So 50 issues for $33. Here is Spawn Compendium 7, and this includes that issue that I bought the other day, that I showed you guys earlier. And when I opened this up, the first thing I saw was a panel of Gunslinger Spawn from that issue. I was like, I just read that.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's in here. So, anyway, it's still irksome that these don't include the covers, and you have to buy the separate hardcovers for the covers, but those are also really pretty books, so that's cool. This is maybe the best Spawn story ever told. Here is Shadows of Spawn, the Spawn manga. I swear by this. It's wonderful. And this is all 3 chapters of it, all 3 volumes of it in one big, thick soft cover. So I had the original printings when I did Spawn Year, and they were, of course, about that thick. And so here's all of it. Still pretty readable. It's not obnoxiously thick. Or, sorry, I'm turning it wrong. But it looks really good. This was just republished like maybe a year or 2 ago. Nice to have that. And then contrast one of the best Spawn things with one of the worst Spawn things. Here is Alan Moore's Violator miniseries in trade. Nice that was reprinted. They've been going back and putting these things out, and
the exact opposite of thickness.
Yeah.
It's 3 issues. This is a $10 cover. I got it for I think 6 or 7, and that's all you should pay for this. And the only reason you would want this is for the completion of it. Although I will say, it's Greg Capullo, and so the art's nice, and it does give you the full Biek brothers, and it's fun to see a bunch of random Violator characters all at the same time, but the story isn't.
And if you're buying that for Alan Moore completionist sake, just know it is more embarrassing than Lost Girls on your shelf.
That's a feat.
Look, it's so embarrassing on my shelf because I already have all of this Spawn stuff, and as soon as I have Curse of the Spawn again, this is not remotely embarrassing.
At least Lost Girls has a nice cover, so as long as nobody knows what's inside, you're good.
You can hide it.
You can hide it, yeah.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm done talking about Spawn right now. At least to you guys, we will have to have a conversation after the show,
right?
That is somewhat Spawn related.
That's fair.
And
that's
I
fair.
apologize for that.
It's okay, you know.
But I can't tell anybody else about that. That's just a thing I need to talk to you about.
Yes.
I have a very serious conversation related to Spawn I have to have with you specifically.
That's fair.
Okay, so now, everybody just remember I said that.
Okay, so for Wrestle Spawn.
Next time you see Cap, he's in clown makeup. He turns into like a 10-foot tall demon.
That'd be awesome, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there's no segue to be made here. It's now time to go to the Battle of the Century. It's Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. I like that it's that Amazing is in there. That it's not just Superman versus Spider-Man. I didn't do that in the title for this video just because it takes up too much space. Yeah. But it is technically Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man. This is from 1976. I think part of the reason that was done was just to advertise the book, like Amazing Spider-Man, for DC readers that have not really tried out Marvel stuff yet. Yeah. And I think that was part of the point of this, and I think it's why Stan Lee signed off on it.
Yeah, so that interview, Conway actually talks specifically about how it was kind of hard getting Stan Lee to sign off on this, and the way that Roy Thomas had to like pitch it and be like, "This is why we need to do it," is everybody knows Superman. Comic people know Spider-Man. You put Spider-Man in an issue with Superman, you're saying that he's now on the same level as Superman, and like people will see that, and it'll be on the news. Like people talk about it. So like I think what you just said is exactly it, Cap. Like it's the Amazing Spider-Man. It's the title of that book. Like it is now on the same level as Superman.
Mm-hmm. And I think there are structural choices made for commercial reasons.
Yeah.
And it works. I like it fine, but I think you have to put yourself in a certain headspace and have a lot of historical perspective going back to this, because obviously we've done umpteen intercompany crossovers since this, and this is arguably the most famous, earliest of these, right? Probably not the first time. Maybe, I don't even know if this is the first time that two companies came together like this to have their characters cross, but it's probably the most important, earliest one.
And they do treat it that way too. Like it's
yeah, they really do. And so, if you get a crossover now, regardless of the length of it, like is a one shot, is it a miniseries, you would expect the two characters that are crossing to be together pretty early.
Yeah.
A few pages in.
This takes its time, and I was kind of impressed by that in a lot of ways too. Just the fact there's a Superman story, and then a Spider-Man story, and then a villain story.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a part of me that was what's the word I'm looking? A little bit impatient with that.
Yeah.
Actually, we're like, because I'm reading it and I'm going, okay, I'm reading a Spider-Man story right now. I'm reading a Superman, or
Maybe
sorry,
we get to the fireworks
Superman,
factory.
then a Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
It has what it calls 3 prologues.
Yes.
Before you get to the main event, and that is half of the book.
Yeah.
It's like 90 pages, and that's the first like 35, 40 pages.
Yeah, it was one of those that I did keep waiting for them to actually get to the meat of the story, but there was a part of me that did kind of respect the fact that it's like, no, we're gonna hold off. You don't open the show with Freebird.
Well, the point I'm trying to make is the point of doing this in 1976 is like you're saying, ramp up anticipation, because something like this has not really been done before.
Right.
And B, like, we made a big deal out of it, like, inside of companies where here's two characters that have never met before.
Yeah.
But this would have blown people's minds so hard that you could even see these two characters on the same page together. Right. So you build that anticipation. We know what's going to happen. It was on the cover. It was on that opening splash page. But also, you like wet the palate and establish the world and the tone of the one for the people that only know the other.
Yeah.
And where it really won me over on it, was when the two characters finally meet. You have this perfect tonal marriage between not just the two characters but the two worlds, where it feels equally traditional, iconic, Marvel and DC. It doesn't feel like Superman suddenly becomes more of a Marvel type character.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man suddenly becomes more of a DC type character.
Right.
It's like perfectly blended.
It really
is. And
is.
it makes a really good argument, even back then, for some kind of like ongoing permanent amalgam universe.
Right.
Not amalgam where you would mix the characters, but like the DC versus Marvel thing, where at first when those two universes collide, they're actually all just in the same world together.
Yeah.
And so like a Bruce Wayne could just like go out on the street and find a Jubilee or whoever. That could happen.
Right.
And when we just put them in the same, I don't know why I picked those two characters.
That's the ultimate crossover we've all been waiting for.
I mean, look,
I'm just saying, like, they could run into each other for some reason.
There's a
You
reason.
know how a normal person gets up out of bed, goes and has chili dogs.
Oh God, you're married.
So we don't do the interdimensional crossover thing. We don't have any explanation as to how these universes go together. This doesn't feel like it's in any one continuity.
Yeah.
It just gives you a conceit.
Yeah.
And you have to suspend your disbelief and go, for this story, these two characters exist in the same world, and it makes me go, even right now in 2026,
Yeah.
and since finally we've been crossing over again,
Right.
We did the Deadpool thing, we did this again,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a month ago. Wouldn't it be cool if these companies could get their ducks in a row and just have a separate shared universe where all these characters just exist in the same world, and you can tell any stories you want to with them?
Yeah, like-
this makes such a good case for that.
Yeah, like the plot
So-
kicks off with, Doc Ock and Lex Luthor just in the same cell together.
Yeah, no, and so that like extended prologue thing, I think does so much heavy lifting for legitimizing this, not as
Yeah.
a gimmick, an event, just as a story, as a book, because obviously it's extended. It's not a 22-page issue.
Yeah.
But with more real estate, this is just how characters cross in either world. So like it just feels like a regular story. No, I thought all that worked really well, and like you said, also manages to balance them and their tones really well. But I think the big thing that this has for me is that Spider-Man and Doc Ock both feel in no way on the same level as Superman and Lex Luthor in a way that is really interesting. Like, not in a like these characters are better, but in that we understand where their places are in the world. So like Lex Luthor's like, I'm gonna blow up the planet, and Doc Ock's like, yeah, I just kind of want money. Like,
Yeah.
I was robbing a museum
He's
before.
like, oh, wait a minute, I live there. I can't have that.
This wasn't blackmail after all.
And Spider-Man's like,
Yeah.
look how powerful I am. Oh, crap, I guess I'm not that powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Spider-Man goes into space, which gives it almost like a Moonraker kind of quality, and like
Yeah.
when James Bond, when with Lex Luthor's layers and stuff. But it's like, oh, like Spider-Man's kind of out of his depth as well, and
you know
I
this-
thought that was really cool.
You know what this felt like to me? It felt like, in a good way, kids taking their superpowers collection action figures and smash them together, because it's like you have the the DC superpowers collection. That's really these kind of character models.
Yes.
Like, that's what that Superman looks like. That's especially what that Lex Luthor looks like. And then I forget what it was called, but you had Marvel figures that were of a similar scale that looked a little bit like that you could put together.
Right.
And there's a lot of toyetic stuff in this, Austin, where like with your robot that Lex Luthor is controlling at the beginning, and then with your Injustice gang satellite, and then with the spaceship that Spider-Man has to fly in because he's not Superman, so he has to fly in a spaceship. This has that kind of playing with action figures quality.
Yeah. He runs out of web fluid too at one point.
Well, of course he
and-
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course we got to do that.
Gotta do that. That's how you get
But no, like you can tell how much care they put into the art in that it's Ross Andrew is the name of the artist, but they had Neil Adams and Ramita Sr. kind of do cleanup stuff where it's like, maybe Spider-Man doesn't look quite right in this
a
panel.
little
Like
off model. Let's touch him up.
a little off model, just kind of touch it up a bit. And this Peter Parker face, maybe touch it up. And same thing with Superman with Neil Adams. So it's like, it's kind of that We Are the World thing where it's like everybody's just on their A game, and you're like, oh, we made sure that like both sides look really good.
Well, and what's really impressive about it is they both feel like kind of like I said before, perfectly part of their respective worlds, but they also look like they could exist in the same world together.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're blending those really well.
And I think I'm appreciating that more after having to read half of a book with each of them separately and then seeing them together than I would if it was like 3 pages in and they're already together. Because, let's face it, you could easily have made this half the length and just opened it with Lex and this might be how we would do it now, honestly. Like Lex and Doc Ock just meet each other in prison, and then they lure Superman into a trap, and then Spider-Man shows up, and you just get rolling with it. But once I got to that place and got Superman and Spider-Man together and having the kind of classic misunderstanding fight, because like we are establishing that formula very early. But once we got to that, I was like, no, I think I am glad that we got like so much story with the two of them before that, and it establishes some like especially character stuff for Peter Parker. In case you're reading this and you just know Superman, you don't know a whole lot about Peter Parker. Like it focuses real hard on his like frustrations with J. Jonah Jameson and his job and the fact that he has to make money by throwing himself under the bus, and he's like finally stands
Clark's
up
like a nice guy, so like he's also not like pushy for his career as well.
Yeah.
No, I thought that parallel was really cool, and again, it's part of that because you and I have reviewed a couple of these crossovers, and I never dig them. I liked this a lot, and stuff like that really helped to again legitimize this as being just something somebody wanted to make, as opposed to comics aren't selling really well right now. Crossover, that'll make us a ton of money.
Yeah,
it weirdly feels effortless in that way, where it's like the novelty of it, Austin, the kind of event of it is that it's not an event. It's like this is just another day at the office.
It's just
like
a story.
It kind of opens your imagination, and if you're a kid in '76 and you're reading this, you're like, it feels like this could have always happened, and this could maybe happen with any character. And that's maybe more exciting than if we were super gimmicky about it and both characters show up and oh my god, it's you!
Yeah.
And it should be impossible for us to be here together. Right. And like obviously it's exciting for Peter Parker to meet Superman, but he's not starstruck.
No, the big like event level thing is just this is a huge book and the art is wonderful. Like the art looks really grand. Again,
and the stakes massively ramp up at the end. I did not expect this to be an earth-shattering sort of plot where like one of your villains actually wants to literally destroy the planet. And I love how just completely out to lunch Lex Luthor is.
Yeah,
where he's like, I don't need the Earth anymore. I'm just gonna destroy all of it. Yeah. And especially because this is the Lex whose beef with Superman is we used to be friends and you made me lose my hair. Like that is still this Lex Luthor.
Yeah. No, and the funniest that's not even the funniest thing. The funniest thing about the villain plot to me is that again, Doc Ock at the beginning of this is robbing a museum. Like he's got like this little octopus ship and he's robbing a museum and he's like, I'm gonna steal money, haha. And then later on, Lex is like, I'm going to blow up the planet unless they give us $10 billion. And then it cuts to Doc Ock, and he's like, $10 billion isn't enough for two? You did this so that you could get...
I missed that. That's hilarious.
And it's like, dude, you were just robbing a museum, and now you're like, $5 billion, that's not enough for me.
So, like, was it just a ransom plot? Because I thought he really wanted to destroy the planet.
No, he then goes off the rails completely and is like, the world's going to explode. And this is so
and like
cool,
Doc
bro.
Ock is
or like, I know they'll never give me $10 billion.
But he starts with the Dr. Evil thing where he's like, I will destroy the planet unless they give me $10 billion.
I somehow missed that. That's really funny.
Which is apparently not enough money to split between two people.
I know, yeah.
Doc Ock, what are you going to do with all that money? Like, what is your plan?
Again, like, were you getting more than $5 billion from a museum?
Yeah. Are you trying to buy a continent? Like, what are you doing?
It's a shiny new Australia.
Well, that's what Doc Ock wants. Doc Ock wants Lex to create a new continent that Doc Ock can then buy.
That's what we need, more real estate schemes.
Doc Ock's like, I'm going to get Australia. But I did think it was interesting how kind of similar to I mean, obviously, it goes a lot farther because he's going to blow up the whole the whole
Yeah.
world. But there were similarities in Lex's villain plot to what he'll do in the movie, and that hasn't come out yet. That's 2 years after
No.
this.
Yeah.
Not only that, Cap, but this is part of my Spider-Man and Doc Ock are just not on that grand scale level. Doc Ock is a mix between Otis and Miss Tessmacher.
Oh,
Like he's
sure.
those two characters merged into one, and Spider-Man's also kind of not at Superman's level. Like Superman has to do a lot of the heavy lifting with the world-ending plot, and Spider-Man just to go like, I hope he can stop that.
Well, there's a real emphasis on Spider-Man's immaturity in comparison to Superman. And I like that they're not pretending like Spider-Man is on the same like moral and like personal maturity level as Superman, just because for Marvel he's that A-list popular hero.
Yeah.
So they compare, but they also remember to contrast. So like they're not going, look, they're the same. Like they both wear red and blue, and they're both really popular, and like they're the most powerful characters in their universes. That's not true for Spider-Man. And part of the reason Spider-Man's as popular as he is because he's as flawed as he is.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting putting him with Superman is all of the learning and growing he still has to do to get anywhere close to Superman's maturity league. And it isn't that Superman's better than him because he's so powerful. It's that he's lived more life, and he's figured things out more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can tell that Conway knows how to write both characters just on their own, and then has a very good grasp of both of them when he comes in. And then you also have Jameson and Morgan Edge kind of as like a meta joke of Marvel and DC editorial.
Oh, I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially by the end, because there's like kind of like a wink and nod, like, oh, Clark brought in the story and Peter brought in the pictures, and like we can kind of get in bed together.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if
And
anything.
Jameson's also insane at the beginning of this, where he threatens to kill Peter Parker.
That was nuts. But I like the way we get into the way Jameson kind of tries to manipulate people.
Yeah, no, very true.
Like if he's getting what he wants out of you, he treats you like your best friend, and then he'll turn on you on a dime if he's not happy with your performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, and it felt to me like both companies kind of having a little bit of fun at themselves.
Yeah, I was not even thinking about it on that level, but I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I think if like fully hit in for me when they meet, when we get that scene with them at the bar.
Oh, with Morgan Edge and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Morgan Edge is in this too, which, I mean, I guess he was only the Bugle at this point. Or at least, like,
You mean the
heavily
planet?
invested- The planet, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. This is a real specific status quo for Superman. And, like, it's kind of funny that this happens when it does.
Yeah.
That you've got Edge instead of Perry White. But, and if you'd used Perry White, you'd be making even more of a statement about how DC is more often, like, more stalwart, kind of, like, nigh-perfect characters. And then... Marvel, they're flawed. They have more of an edge. There's more grit to them.
Right.
But here, it's like Morgan Edge is the closest to like a Marvel character
Kind of, yeah.
that you have.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we compare them as really similar characters that are both, kind of cynical in their fields and will, do what they need to get a story.
I mean, it opens with, I guess it doesn't open, but then you see, like, Morgan Edge talking about how he wants to replace Clark Kent, Because he's not exactly the Walter Cronkite now.
Not only that, he wants to replace him specifically with Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
Which totally cracked me up.
It just made me think of the new Superman movie where he's like, look, let's do it, Cronkite, when he does the interview with Lois.
Yeah.
Well, and that gave this a little bit of that, and again, it's funny because it's 2 years before it, but that Donner Superman flavor where the world around Superman is not always a nice place. Like it is that more kind of I'm using this word too much, but that kind of cynical 70s world, and it does make the world around him feel more like what we do at Marvel, but like Superman himself is able to be the more like stalwart knight perfect kind of character.
Yeah, no, very true. I also have to mention,
but that helps it feel like they're in the same reality.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm sorry, what were you saying? I gotta mention Peter Parker's really super weird shirt.
Oh yeah, his weird sweater that he's wearing.
It looks like Space Invaders is on it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. And then
he's a hip happening bloke.
Yeah.
And it has that quality of the weird jacket he's always wearing in the 90s cartoon where he only ever wears one outfit because he leaves at one point and puts a Spider-Man suit on, and then when he comes back he's wearing this again. Like this is just the shirt he wears this entire issue.
Yeah.
And I think that's funny.
Hey, he's poor.
It looks very strange.
Yeah.
No, but I have to mention that the fight in this is what BVS thinks it's doing.
Exactly.
Dude, I had that so hard while I was reading that. I could not stop thinking about that, where it's like, it's this misunderstanding. One of them will not listen to what the other one is saying, and the other one's like, just like pay attention to me and we can solve this. Like,
one also has like reasons. Okay, so I'll break this down quickly for the audience who hasn't read this. But like Peter Parker sees Superman swoop in, laser vision Lois Lane and Mary Jane, and they just like explode, and then he flies away. Obviously, it's not real Superman; it's a setup. So he's like, "Oh my God, Superman just killed my girlfriend. Maybe I gotta go do something about that." And then he goes out, and Lex hits him with like a red kryptonite ray thing. So he's like emanating red kryptonite energy. So, no, sorry, not red kryptonite. Like red sun energy.
Solar, red solar.
Solar, yeah.
Later
so it's
on, like they have the knives made out of like red sun treated steel or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he can actually fight Superman. So Superman shows up and he's like, well, Spider-Man's here. Like maybe he has something to do with this. I'll go check in. And Spider-Man just starts kicking his ass, and he's like, okay, well, the things that Spider-Man is saying, clearly he's like trying to figure this out like I am. So I'll just talk to him. So he's like, hey, Spider-Man, we can figure this out. And Spider-Man's like, there's nothing to figure out. I just saw you incinerate my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So he just keeps beating him up. So then Superman's like, no. Let me explain. We can talk this through. Spider-Man then kicks his ass some more, and then finally he's like, oh my God, you're making me angry.
Yeah.
So like finally like breaks, goes to punch him, realizes like, oh, I'm gonna explode this man's face. Stops,
no,
so he like only gets hit by the shock.
If I follow through with this punch, I will kill him.
Yeah.
Yes. So then, because he only like strikes out in anger, stops. The shockwave of just the air from his fist blows Spider-Man back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Superman's immediately calm again and like, okay, let's talk this out. And by that point, the solar energy on Peter Parker has died down, so we can't hurt Superman anymore. And I'm like, this is exactly what that thinks it's doing. And then instead of Superman flying in and being like, oh, I should maybe explain this to him. Nah, I'm just gonna throw him.
Yeah, and like why is Superman getting kind of enraged for a minute that Spider-Man pushes him to that point?
Right.
But he backs off
happening
before anything happens, and so it's the perfect illustration both of the massive difference in their abilities and their power sets, but also in their personalities and again their maturity levels. I don't think you can underestimate the importance of again, like life experience and ages here. Like we don't forget that Spider-Man's still relative to Superman, kind of a kid.
Right,
We
right.
play it like a 35-year-old man versus a 21-year-old, young man.
Right, right.
No, and this is a super one-sided fight. Superman gets that one hit in. Outside of that, it's just Spider-Man kicking Superman's ass. And yet they both look really strong out of it because Superman has such a stalwart position in this fight where it's like, I'm not even going to fight you. Like, we can figure this out. So they both end up looking really good despite it essentially just being a beatdown.
Yeah,
it's really well handled.
That's kind of the most impressive thing about it for me is realistically you get these characters together and that should be like a 5-second fight. And so the fact that they're able to contrive a way for it to be like really exciting and dynamic, but not throw either character under the bus. Like nobody's lame. Like regardless of which one is your favorite character. And so like you get to see Spider-Man like actually fight Superman and get some blows in and do some cool stuff, and then Superman finally goes at him. I like that Spider-Man thinks he's broken his hands. Yeah. Both of them.
And Superman was like, I should roll.
The fists everywhere as he's like just punching him really fast, and then he stops and is like, "Ow!"
And then there's a moment of accidental, hilarious sexual innuendo where Spider-Man says, "Why are you so hard right now?" And it's, I couldn't stop.
There's
laughing.
a non-zero chance that's on purpose too. Some writer is like, "What can I get?" Because
it's not even the line; it's that he's in like such a sultry pose, like he's doing a weird pose on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's why I noticed it. Yeah, it's just because of the layout of it when he says it. I might have skipped past it already. I'm not sure where it is, but. And then I thought it was a little odd that we have this detour where we spend 6 pages with an African tribe. That was kind of random.
I know, yeah.
That was pretty funny, yeah. Well, Lex and Dr. Doom decide they want to bless the rains down in Africa, so they build a base there.
You mean Dr. Octopus?
What did I say?
You said Dr. Doom.
Oh, Dr. Octopus. Sorry, my bad.
He's there somewhere. Laveria's not that far away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the only way to enter is to like remove the cave door to Jesus' cave when he dies.
Yeah.
What
I learned about this at Catholic school.
What continent is Latveria on?
It's like Eastern European, isn't
All
it?
of them.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I think so. Like, it's supposed to be like that scene in Euro Trip, where it's like, oh, no,
yeah,
we have
it's
to
like
go
a
to
Europe,
Eastern Europe.
You're right, it's like a European castle.
Yeah.
Because I think Doom's supposed to be like Romanian adjacent, like that kind of a place.
Well, I know in like Ultimate Fantastic Four, when like the Ultimates were still a thing, they tried to make him Romanian. They had him be like the distant ancestor of like Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
When Ultimate makes him Victor Van Dam, which is also weird.
RJ Godzilla.
And I know there's scripts for the Tim Story film where they contemplated it.
RJ Godzilla, Peter's sweater looks like something my grandparents would have bought me for Christmas.
That's true. And they made that for him.
Yeah, the weirder thing isn't that he has the sweater; it's that he
wears it to March.
Wearing it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like willingly putting that on.
I wonder if Ma and Pa were still alive at this point, if we would have had them interact with Aunt May in this kind of a crossover.
Yeah. That was a thing that the new Marvel book did that I kind of appreciated. And it sort of felt like who was that? Was that no, that wasn't the Brad Meltzer section, or maybe it was. It's all running together for me now. I can't remember which segment it was in, but whoever wrote that, it's almost like they thought that was a thing missing in this. Where it's like it's like what can we add that should have maybe been in this original one in the first place? It makes me
this would have been too early.
It kind of makes me wonder what that 1981 one is like, because they did a follow-up to this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Braden, I did see your super chat. We're just talking about this, but yeah, I put it on the wheel. He asked for Aliens Outbreak for the wheel, so I have put that there, and that can possibly come up. And I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the show, but if anybody last minute wants to put in a $5 super chat to put something on the wheel, it can be a comic from any period at all. You can do that before the show is over. Yes, indeed. Anyway, what else you guys want to say about this? We are somehow well past 3 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we hit a lot of it.
Yeah, I think
I was just very impressed with this. Like I said, I didn't love the 90s stuff that we reviewed. I didn't even really like the Perez stuff that we reviewed, which makes me sad.
Oh,
but
really?
I really liked this. I thought this was a great crossover.
Yeah, I'll say I really appreciate. I did feel like I had to put my head in a certain time in place, right? Like I appreciated this, like for the time, certainly. I don't think I liked it quite as well as you did, Austin, and I think I would have more as a kid or when this came out if I had been alive then. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've just read too much crossover material where I'm a little bit numb to some of the formula stuff that wasn't formula yet, and so that's nobody's fault. Like that's just.
I mean,
Yeah, but I think. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say, you even have like Lex Luthor sneaking in like radio equipment under like his skin, under like a patch of fake skin too, which is something you've seen.
Oh, that was crazy.
It was, yeah. Which you've seen riffs on that in like a number of different books. Honestly, on either side, because the Hulk did that. We had like Gargoyle have like a control panel like his fingernail that he. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's not really a cliche it invented, but it's something that you've seen before that is kind of unique to comics that you don't necessarily see in a lot of media outside of this.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, and a lot of the crossover kind of cliche stuff didn't play as like, this is just how we do this, as opposed to just, or sorry, for like company crossovers, it was more just like,
yeah, sure.
oh, this is how like Marvel would have like Spider-Man meet Daredevil. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, no, I know.
I think that just really helped.
I have that too. Yeah, but I'm also just a little numb to all of that.
That's fair. I also just really like the like kind of classic Marvel team up kind of thing. I once did a short story in high school based on that, where I was like, I just love that as a formula. I don't know. I'm a sucker.
I'm just really numb to like your two characters obligatorily have to fight and have some kind of misunderstanding, and then they're gonna team up and be friends after that, and you're just kind of flipping pages waiting for that to happen because you know it's going to.
You know the
story like beats, it's somebody's fault. That's what this has to be. And so I enjoyed it for what it was, but I wasn't like as enamored with it as Austin seems to have been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I really liked this. So that was really good.
He's got a great voice for both of these characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I liked it for action more than I liked it for story. But I also appreciate that all of the character paralleling is like really subtle. Like none of it's in your face. It's not pretentious about it. It's not trying to impress anybody. Like it's all kind of natural and inherent out of the story.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like how can we showcase those things? It just feels like we put these. This is how it should always be done, I think. Where you take these two characters together and you just naturally those things show up if you're writing it as character driven as you can write it.
Yeah, exactly. No, and then it becomes just like a campy like Moonraker type movie. Where it just becomes insane, and all that was really fun. Like Lex wanting to blow up the planet.
RJ Gazelle, I just don't like this era of Lex. I can't take him seriously. Because of that, I can't really take the Superman seriously.
Well, just wait a few more years. He'll be a different character. He'll be a business magnate.
He will no longer wear a pink shirt.
He will no longer wear a pink shirt. Or green pants.
That's true.
Yeah, I was always a little bit frustrated with that backstory. Where like, I want to love the idea of Lex and Superman used to be friends somehow.
Yeah.
And you just need some kind of less goofy reason that breaks down than you made me lose my hair.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to kind of compartmentalize that. Sorry, I'm getting tired. I can't speak. I had to like slow down being able to pronounce that as a word.
Yeah.
Just in the sense that like I'm not a fan of like Superman and Lex being friends when they were younger, so it's like I just have to kind of like accept that that's just how it is. But it also comes up so little that like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of became modern canon with Smallville, after Smallville, I should say. Because then that's when the comics are like, hey, Lionel Luthor was a popular character on the show. People like the dynamic between Tom Welling and, Rosenbaum. So, the comics that reflected that. So.
No, and I can dig both businessman. I prefer businessman Lex, I would say, but like I can dig crazy mad scientist Lex at the same time. I like when we find like a middle ground.
It's better to have
between
a
them
blend
too.
of it.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go ahead and spin the wheel for. We can talk more about this, but we're so late. We need to finish the show up here. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel for our featured book for next time. But actually, the last thing I'll say real quick is, Austin, I need a copy of that book in some capacity. Like, I'd love to get the original first printing, but I need to at least get a facsimile. And
I wonder because they just announced that omnibus for Marvel and DC crossovers. I wonder if this is in that.
Oh, I bet
because I want to say it's. I want to say it's like the earlier ones. Like I don't think the Prez one's in it or the Amalgam. Like I want to say it might be that stretch of early like specific character crossovers.
Well, and Amalgam got its own. That was the first thing they announced when they decided they were going to start crossing stuff. So like that came out.
There
already.
you go.
I think it's two giant hardcovers maybe, but I'd have to go back and look.
I imagine it'd probably be one for each phase too, or each round.
I think so. But I think Marvel vs. DC is also collected in part of it. I don't know. I have to go back and look. I don't remember because I already have all that in singles, so I'm not going to get it.
Right.
But anyway, here is our wheel, folks. So we already got one from Chris last time, so Chris has fewer things on the wheel.
Yep.
But after we knock more of this down, we'll let Chris put more stuff on it. And again, you folks can put things on the wheel with a $5 super chat.
Right around she goes.
Can help do that.
Okay, so this was an Austin pick, and we got Escape by Rick Remender.
Okay.
Cool. I feel bad in that I picked this one, that we have to do two of my picks back to back.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't count. Like, you just kind of suggested.
Yeah.
Why don't we?
This was a special occasion.
Exactly, and I did give you a list of things too, I guess. But no, I'm excited for you guys to check that out. That'll be cool.
Well, and also I picked the cover.
That's true too.
Because you were like, "What stuff do you have?" By Gerry. You were like, "Do you have any Gerry Conway?" I was like, "Yeah." In my 11,000 comics, I'm gonna have no Gerry Conway.
I was like assuming that you do, because I can't imagine you have as many comics as you do and do not own Gerry Conway issue. He's so prolific.
Believe it or not, I have quite a bit of his Justice League also, which I've never read.
I've not read that. I've always heard he's got like a really great run on Justice League.
Yeah, I should look at some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is Escape? I don't remember what you told me about that.
So that is that World War II, They're All Animals book that I talked very highly about. Yeah, issue to issue. One of my favorite recent books. It's fantastic.
So is that an ongoing? Or are we just reading a volume of like 4, 5, 6 issues? Or
so it's 6 issues. It's an ongoing, but it's on break.
So he's only gotten through 6 so far, or
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Like it's just waiting for issue 7. So, like that first arc is already out. It's just like I said on break. I think it's coming back soon, maybe next month.
Cool. So you're saying when we read that, we'll actually be caught up with it?
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, we'll do that next time. And Janica. Volume 2, number 1. Yeah.
It's like a hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Second time I've heard that phrase today.
I thought about shaking the phone again, and I was like, God, I have no valid reason for shaking the phone.
We're going for it. We're seeing it.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna pare my collection down and start selling things that I don't want to have to deal with on the wheel. That's on the phone shake.
You have an excuse to thin out your collection at least. Sell stuff on eBay.
No, I'm not actually gonna do that. Because then I got to get it back to 11,000. Do you know how many years I was sitting right around 10,000? And then, like, I would sell something, and I would buy something, and then I mean, it was probably a decade of I'm right at 10,000, not quite there.
Right.
And then I started collecting again real hard last year, and I went into a half-price books when I was on vacation and in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I looked at and they had a really good comic selection there, and I pulled my phone out, and I went, I am 20-something issues away from 10,000.
No, yeah.
By God, I'm going to hit it right now. And I just started stacking stuff up.
Yeah.
And I bought another more than 1,000 books since then.
Yeah, so...
So, no, I'm not selling anything, Chris, because I don't want to have to go back down.
That's fair.
Under that number.
Exactly.
You're not even going to sell Volume 2, Issue 1 of Jenica?
No.
Not even that. That's here to stay.
In there. Yeah, because if I do that, I'm probably going to get rid of... all the turtles from that volume past 100 because I don't like the new writer after Waltz leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
And that turns into like McFarlane decompressed. It's like, how was that 50 issues? Anyway, well, thanks a lot for watching and listening, folks. We sure appreciate you, and thanks for hanging out with us during this very long show. And we'll be back again next Tuesday with another one. We might actually manage 4 in a row.
We might. That'd be something.
Because we did 3 this time, and we've barely gotten 2 weeks in a row this whole year. Stuff keeps coming up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Austin, thanks for spending the whole night with us, man. Almost literally.
No worries. Yeah. Metaphorically and literally.
Yeah.
We hit both.
All right, appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. I was Captain Logan. We had Austin and Chris. Good night, folks.
Bye, everyone.